Okay. Hello. I'm live for the after show. If you want to come in, I'm going to send TKA a link and see if we can figure out how to do this. Um, we're just going to do, we forgot to mention it before we close the stream out. So if you want to come in for a minute, we probably won't stay on too late, but I'm just going to do a little after show. From Kentucky Atheist channel. We had a great show with Matt. It was great. It was awesome. Matt was he's so cool, really, actually, in person. So much more relaxed than what he is on the call-in shows. And Bree won the shirt. I'm so happy about that. I was so tickled that your name was there, Bree, because there's so many people that I've never even heard of that were on that list. And I was like, oh gosh, it's going to be somebody we don't know that wins this shirt. And it was Bree. I'm so happy. Somebody going to come in, Missy Ma, where you at? I know you're here somewhere. Gotta be coming. Yeah, it was a great show. Matt is so cool. We kept him a little longer than he planned on, but he was cool about it. So yeah, it's nice. He's great. And I don't know if Mark was still streaming or not. Hi, Maya. You want to come in? We forgot to announce that we were doing this, and Joe can't stay, and I kind of want to talk to you anyway about something, but we ain't got to do it here right now. But I was going to tell you I watched that some more things on that channel last night. And there was something that's kind of interested me. I didn't know I was either, Speed. I didn't know I was either. Maybe we'll have a few people show up. I'm in mom and dad's garage anyway. My internet was messed up. My computer's messed up. So I'm sitting at a card table in their garage. Yeah. That's why it's such my lovely background. Dad's car over here. A bicycle there. It was pretty good, cool, Matt, wasn't it? He's a lot of fun. I'm gonna text Miss Maud and tell her I'm streaming. And maybe BBM. And let's see who else. I don't have Mark Stoney's number or nothing. It's so hot in here. Working outside made big dinner for me and my sister. Oh, that sounds so good, Mike. Speed. I wish I had something to eat. I need a man to cook for me. Or a woman to cook for me. Just to cook. Doesn't really matter which one. It's so weird when you're in here by yourself, talking to yourself. I don't like like it. I was so nervous for that, but I was so excited. It went well. Yeah. We only had to ban maybe one or two people. Um, Baked ham, gravy, mashed potatoes. Oh, come on, Speed. Oh, speed. I sent you one in the email, Joe. It should be in your email. But I guess I can pin it. I don't really know how to do that. I got a train going by. Hey, Big Bad Mama. I posted the link, y'all. Anybody wants to come in. I didn't bring Dad's charger for his computer, and it is down to one bar, so I may have to run in there and get a charger or see if mine will fit it. I don't know if mine will fit it or not. I don't think he's got the same brand I do. No, it won't. Of course not. So I won't be on here too long because I only got one bar. Oh, sorry, Joe.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I didn't see you there.
No, you're fine. So that was a blast, right? That was fun.
Yes. It was. Matt's cool shit when he's like away from his calling shows.
Yeah. I think once I quit asking like about debates and things like that, and asked about snakes, he really wanted to open up and start talking, and that made it a lot of fun.
Yeah, he likes talking about his snakes. He enjoys that. Hi, Devin.
Let me
There's
go.
Maya.
Hey,
Hi, Maya.
everybody.
The goddess.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I was not expecting you to be like, hey, come talk. I was like, okay. Oh, but good stream, Joe. I was kind of walking around and listening while, like, I don't know, doing stuff.
Yeah. It was really fun to get to talk to Matt and you know listen to him geek out about snakes, and it was awesome. I had a good time doing it.
That was interesting. I had no idea. Well, I don't really follow other people like in their personal lives like that, so I had no idea he did any of that.
Well, so Matt has like I forget how I came across that, but they
He has a channel.
yeah,
They have
they
a
just all of a
channel.
sudden one day posted
Ah.
that they were showing them taking care of the snakes and stuff,
Mm.
and I went and watched it, and it's really interesting. It's cool. Arden gets all excited, and you can tell she really likes doing it. Like
Yeah.
They've
it's
got a bunch. They went all in when they went
yeah.
into it. Epic Loot. Um, Epic Loot Exotics is the name of his channel.
Oh,
Epic.
Interesting.
EPIC Loot. LOOT.
Epic Loot.
Yeah.
He kind of put a gamer spin on it, huh?
It took them a long time to figure out the name. They took forever trying to figure. They spent forever trying to figure out the name and the avatar and
Yeah.
So
Well, as soon as Matt showed up in the back, because Matt showed up like 20 minutes early. He was there before Azzo or anything.
oh god.
And he showed up and I was like, hey, what's going on, Matt? And he's like, hey, just, got done feeding things and whatever. And I was like, I said,
Mondays is our rat day, that rat cleaning day stuff.
yeah. And he said, how long is this going to go? And I was like, well, I was hoping to keep you for about an hour if you can. And he's like, oh, I've been doing this. And I was like, Matt, you can stay as long as you want. You can leave anytime you want. And I said,
Right.
I'll craft it. We did it at 8:00 just to, to help him
Yeah.
out eating and everything. And he said, no, he said, I can do an hour. He said, we can hang out and talk for an hour. And I was like, okay.
Yes. Yes. I was so proud of Mark Reed. I told him last night because he scheduled him and Grayson. And I said, you scheduled Grayson in the middle of the. He said, you got it. I said, yeah, it's going to be out there.
No, well, Mark was very gracious then because I saw him in the chat for a while.
Yeah, I don't know if him and Grayson canceled or what.
No, I got a thing for him. But
So I shouldn't have streamed. He's streaming then.
I think he rated.
No. I thought he was going to start. I could be wrong though.
Well,
I mean, it's only like 9 a.m. for him, so
yeah. Well,
I mean, he wasn't going too much earlier.
I wasn't going to turn down Matt when he asked me to do it in the evening on Monday.
No, yeah. How'd you get Matt?
I just emailed him and he said yes. I emailed him and told him, hey, this is what I do and what I'm about, and we would love to have you come, talk to us. Just a laid back conversation. And he emailed me back within minutes and said, yeah, I'd love to just set it up and stuff. And
within minutes, God.
Yeah. And I talked. We had a few messages. The same thing with Aaron Raw. I just messaged him and asked, and as soon as I asked, Aaron was real to the point. He's like, "What day do you want to do it?"
It's very Aaron.
Yeah, and they both just said yes. With Aaron, I included a little more about, hey, I think you and I share a lot of the same experiences, growing up with young earth creationists around and stuff. And I think that we could have a productive conversation. And I said, I want to mention the phylogeny challenge and stuff. And then I messaged him back and I was like, hey, you know what? Let's not make it a topic like that. Let's just have a chat. And so he was cool with that. But shoo.
And so is that what, are you trying to be like more of kind of a Mondays are just like interview days or like a Neil, the 604 atheist kind of deal?
So it's interesting. Mondays, so I always stream on Sunday, and Monday I had been doing a members only stream at 6:00, and I had let the members pick the day and time that they wanted me to do it. And one week I forgot to mark that member stream as members only, and quite a few people showed up, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're on at 6:00 on Mondays. We'll watch this." And I was like, "Well, I guess we'll make it just another live stream on Mondays." And then at first, I still wanted to I tried to do responses and stuff, and I suck at that. So I was like, "Well, let's just have guests on Monday too," and kind of made itself.
I don't know. I mean, your response vids got noticed by Apologia, so.
Well, no, those kind of videos, the televangelist ones and stuff, those are cool. I could do more of those. I just got to where I couldn't sit through the hours of watching televangelists to make the video. And
I hear you. No. It's a good portion of my week. I hear you.
BBH. Joe Hoogan said you forgot to plug Professor Dave.
Oh, I'm so sorry. It's all right.
I
had so much going on.
Forgot us yesterday too. If it hadn't been for Earl, he would have forgot us.
I'm so sorry. I even had that on the thing to put up too, and I forgot all about it. I am so sorry. Matt
We're both in
Matt
Kentucky,
limited me to an
basically.
hour, and I'm used to having 3 hour streams, so I was trying to cram everything in.
Basically, he said this Kentucky dude is everywhere. Me and
Well,
him both are in Kentucky. We're both
yeah,
Kentucky.
I'm actually just in Kentucky, VE.
But we're on opposite sides of the state.
Yeah,
I've never been to Kentucky.
don't.
I think I've been through
No,
Kentucky.
Kentucky is beautiful. Kentucky is beautiful. It is, and it's not.
It's
Parts of
better.
it are not that bad. There's
Yeah,
certain parts that I wouldn't go to
no,
by myself, like over in around where he lives. Like
Carter
it's
County.
yeah, that's kind of like the banjos. You know what I mean? You hear the
Hmm.
banjos and
It's where they
stuff like
filmed Deliverance, the real
yeah,
version.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
I live over on the western side, and it's a lot different over
Yeah,
here.
the closer you
Okay.
get to West Virginia, the lower the IQ drops. I'm
My
sorry,
ex,
that was
my
mean.
ex, no, my ex-husband was from West Virginia. That's funny. It's funny
Yeah,
because
it
I hate
makes
him now.
Kentucky. Yeah, it's not too bad. But we got Bowling Green, over here, the Corvette plant, and
There's a lot
um,
of cool things in Kentucky, and it is beautiful. It's
Mammoth Cave.
it's just as soon as people open their mouth around here is the problem. Where I live, anyway.
Blessed B said she lived in Kentucky for 2 weeks during her meth days. There you go.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. Kentucky was,
Everybody here's on meth too, so
or they were. They're
yeah.
not in jail now or on heroin or
Mm.
something.
Yeah, yeah. It's
But the meth was going on for a while. Yeah.
yeah, it's as far as like the drug thing goes, Eastern Kentucky is a really it's an impoverished area, and back during the OxyContin days, there was $99 round trip flights to Florida to go get your drugs,
We
and
lead the country in teenage pregnancies.
yeah,
Well, yeah, that's what happens when you don't believe in sex ed.
right, yeah. I was taught abstinence as sex ed.
My daughter brought home
Abstinence is not
a baby doll
abstinence is not
today.
sex ed.
Oh no, I agree.
No, but my daughter brought home a baby doll today. Like when we were in school, we had to pack around like a 5 pound bag of sugar. Okay,
Okay.
well they actually have like dolls now that you got to feed them and shake them and burp
Yeah.
them and all this
No, you
stuff.
don't shake them.
Well,
You
rock them or
failed,
whatever.
Robin.
So she brought that home, and yeah,
I
I
don't
feel
know
that's
what I
good
think
birth
about those
control.
things. I don't know if they actually work. I haven't looked into it. But
I I think that's good birth control because she was like, "Here, can you hold this baby for a minute?"
oh
Well,
god.
you on meth, Joe. That's
I
kind
got
of personal.
I know. That's why I was like, oh God, like she's, uh, you know, I don't know. Titan and I go back and forth about her. All my mods hate her, and I think she's hilarious, honestly.
Trees live in
Um,
Hopkinsville. Yes, I picked up milk in Hopkinsville.
I was on meth at a time, not like my primary drug of choice was heroin when I was on drugs, but yeah, I've done quite a bit of meth. Um, it just comes with it. It's
I
is what
mean,
it is.
when
Me
in
too.
Rome, I find
Yeah.
Me
that
too.
people usually do whatever's easy, cheapest or easiest to get. When
Yeah.
you're in a given area.
Well, around here, like how I mentioned the OxyContin thing,
Hmm.
they made documentaries about like this area, like right where I live.
Oh
In
wow.
fact, I know the cops and people that were in the movie. But there's one called OxyContin Express and one called Hillbilly Heroin, and it talks about the flood of OxyContin and stuff. Well, as regulations started to prevent that from happening, heroin showed its face here and became the drug that everybody on pain pills switched to.
Hmm.
And then right about the time that I got clean is when fentanyl really started to pick up as well. And
Okay,
so
yeah.
Yeah, it just
I
kind of
don't like pain
progressed
medication.
into that.
I don't like pain medicine. I never got into that pain medicine. Oxycontins, hydrocodones.
Well, I mean,
Well,
they scared the shit out of me. I've been prescribed it twice, and I just threw the prescriptions away because I've never heard a good thing about them. And
They made me
anytime I
sick,
say that to
actually.
people, like they get mad at me. It's like, you should have sold it to me. I'm like, that's so illegal. It's just my brain doesn't think like that.
Well, I mean, to me, pain pills are like so much more addictive. Like the people
Hmm.
I knew that used to eat them, they would have traded their grandmother for a
Oh
pill.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It would be
Hmm.
yeah,
like,
yeah.
and they would
Yeah.
cry and like, I mean, just
Let me
whine around for a
let
pill.
me
And
tell you
if I didn't
something
have
from
anything, I just
my
went to bed and slept. And I mean, I didn't sit up and cry about it. I just went to bed. I was like, fuck it, I ain't gonna do dope. I'm going to bed.
yeah.
But sit up and just whine.
Let me
And there
tell you
was a
something.
lot more thieving that from that
From,
side, I thought.
yeah, from my experience, because of pain pills and opioids, um, I stole from all my family members to the point they wouldn't talk to me.
Hmm.
I ended up in jail multiple times. I there was no part of my life where I was doing anything good. I mean, like my routine was wake up, do a shot of dope, uh, go to Walmart and shoplift $300 or $400 worth of stuff, and either take that to back and get a gift card and then sell that at the pawn
Oh,
shop, or
oh,
like go
PC.
steal a buggy full of steaks and take it to the hood and trade that for dope up in Huntington, and like it was.
Oh,
That was all day, every day.
Yeah.
did you read PC's comment?
Oh
Hmm.
yeah.
Oh my
Did you
God.
ever call his lot? And
This is
Not
while he was a
PC.
Christian.
Pragmatic crystals.
No, no, no. I know, but like, she's like, "Did you ever call his light into your life?" And I'm like, "He was." I'm pretty sure he was a Christian while he was doing all this. Like,
I was
um,
I got my
I
own
was a
lights.
believer for the
I
first
like
part of it.
LED lights. I was
Um,
pregnant when I said, "Oh,
and
PC."
I feel for you, PC. One of the things I tell people is that like I know more dead people than alive people now because of drugs, and um, I know that like it's my mom or nobody died, but all of my friends are dead. Everybody that I used to hang out with and stuff is gone, and every week I hear at least one name, sometimes two or three that have died, and I know it's tough to understand those things and deal with it, and I feel for you. I do.
no, it's insane. Like I said, my ex was from West Virginia. He, was on. He did pills, and I didn't even understand. I'm like, "Do you just like take pills?" And he was like, "No." And then he's showing me, telling me like, how you break it down, and uh, and you get it into your body. I like seriously didn't even think about it, but he'd show me his Facebook page, and we're like 35, 36 at the time, and it's just like all these people. It's like it's their birthday today, it's their anniversary, da da da. Da. And he's like, "Well, she passed 3 years ago. He passed 5 years ago. This person's been gone for 8 years." Um, like I don't know how you. It's sad, and I don't know.
It,
I never know what to do in these conversations because
well,
you're and not to like diminish what you're going through, but you have such a common story, like the family that you abused, the things that you stole, the times you've been in jail. um I am
yeah.
so proud of you, honestly, for being
There's a
out, for
lot of
being clean, for
similarities
being
in
productive.
every story. Yeah,
I mean, no, I mean, look what you're doing. Like,
yeah,
it always amazes me when somebody's like clean and healthy and like functioning, because there's so many people that died.
yeah, yeah. And it's one of those things that like it's frustrating to watch because you know that there's successful methods to at least help people who want to try, but drugs like it changes it actually physically changes parts of your brain,
Yeah.
and it's just it you can't see it there. Okay, so like how we say in atheism, we'll say, well, once we've seen the absurdity of the Bible, it's hard to unsee it.
Hmm.
And drugs are
God,
almost like
fascinating.
that because you're stuck in it, and it's
Hmm.
not until you can step away from it and get clean and get your head straight for a minute that you can see the problem,
Hmm.
and the drugs won't let you do that, so you have
Right.
to.
I mean,
It's
physically, yeah, physically,
yeah,
it's like your body is turning against you. You know.
yeah.
Well, pain medication is, I mean, you can actually die
Mhm.
from just shutting those completely off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
you become physically, I don't think that meth is like addictive, like you want more of it, but I don't think that it shuts your body down
right.
like
There isn't a
Right.
physical dependency with meth. It's it's more
mental,
of a mental
probably.
issue. Yeah,
I mean, and don't think that that's not physical, though. I mean, your brain
Well,
is going
it's
through.
different. Like you can
I do
actually,
understand that, like
yeah,
it's
you can
different, like
actually
your
die
body. I do understand
from.
that. I used to work in a substance abuse treatment facility. I do understand that, which is why I'm making the point. There is a chemical thing going on in your brain,
Mhm.
yeah,
um,
yeah.
And
that
people think you can just quit those pain pills and stuff. They talk about that. Those people
mhm,
can't. I mean, they become physically sick.
yeah, physically sick.
Well, and also with like the meth, one of the things is you may not have that physical sickness, but when you're used to using that to
You have Lom's disease,
uh,
lack of meth.
when you're using meth to just to get through your day-to-day life, and you've been up for days and you keep doing it, I mean, it's it's very similar, and people on meth, while there's not the same kind of physical dependency, I mean, some people, once they get on it, they have to keep doing it to function,
Hmm.
and if they're not to the point to where they can't function at all in life, which happens. I got to the point I couldn't have a job. I couldn't I couldn't do anything other than hustle and chase drugs.
Right.
That's all I did. I mean,
I always worked.
yeah.
I've never not had a job.
No, I quit working and started selling drugs because that way I made enough money to buy drugs.
I mean,
Okay.
I never did not have a job. I was like one of the only people I knew that had a job.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I'm one of the only
Right.
people that ever
Right.
had a job. But I just always had a job. I mean,
It
I don't
Mhm.
know. I
it's
didn't.
You
No, I
said you
was
were a
actually kind
substance
of amazed
abuse
at my sister.
counselor,
She's
Maya?
no, I worked in a substance abuse treatment facility, so
Okay.
I hired. I mean, I oh, yeah, my degree is in industrial psychology, so it's like worker motivation, and I don't know. We get into it. It's kind of boring though. Um, I my focus is on healthy brains. So I do try to stay away from anything delving into cognitive abnormal psych children. Like right now, I'm in a retirement home, so I'm around a lot of psychiatrists and social workers dealing with the aging mind, and it's just it. Changing minds are just they're so different. Even
Yeah.
I mean, to the chemical level than a normal mind, it's insane. So like, I don't. I try very hard not to like overspeak, but I also want to, the public education, which I see is like so very much needed, just from dealing with families, trying to support our patients. They
Yeah.
don't get it. It's just like, well, why can't you just,
Make them
and I'm like,
stop.
yeah, yeah, just,
Yeah.
just stop. Like, you see what it's doing. And I'm like, it's not cigarettes. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
it's
just
not the
so
same.
different. I mean,
One of the things I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of the things that in some of the groups that I float around in and kind of help people, because I work in a couple groups where I help people get into rehabs and detoxes and stuff. But
mhm,
one of the things that people overlook a lot is it's not just counseling for the individual. Their
Mhm.
family is part of it too.
Oh yeah,
They're usually enabling it, or
yeah.
there's, there's the drugs have affected their family in a way that they all
I
need
hate
counseling
saying I hate
together.
saying that though. I hate saying that because it's like you lay the blame on the people
No, no,
who
No,
aren't
no.
no.
even doing
I
it.
mean, it's not victim blaming per se, but enablers
I mean, people
aren't
aren't trained
entirely.
to,
Are I mean,
yeah, they're not trained to know how to deal with that
Right, right.
situation.
yeah,
That's
I
why
no,
you
I
mean,
need
mean
the
we're
counseling.
we agree with that completely, and we're not.
I know.
Again, it's
I just
not
always hate saying that
necessarily
about people.
victim blaming, but at the point that we're telling you this is what it's going to take to get
Yeah.
dad, brother, son,
Hold on a
husband
minute. I
better.
mean, blessed be he. PC has told you 3 times to stop about the medical misinformation. Doctors are not prescribing you sugar pills, okay?
God,
You have to be in, like, a blind study or something,
Yeah.
yeah, and
and
you have to
and
sign up
and
for that. You have to
I
know
just
that you're
wonder,
being given a placebo.
have you checked in any in the medication since they come out with genetic testing? Because it's so much better now. They can nail which medicines are better for you instead of, like, sending you one right after another, trying them out.
I
But
was on
please
Suboxone, and it
do
definitely
what
wasn't sugar.
PC says, or she will have to ban you or put you out or mute you or
Which is a whole
whatever.
nother story.
Because PC does whatever she
Yeah.
decides she needs to do.
Imagine that. Be he disrupting in chat.
She's not. Well, I mean, she's just
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not even necessarily the talk. It's the medical misinformation where
Yeah.
it's just like she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. She
Right.
won't like. I
Well,
understand
I
that
mean, there are
she's a
some
former
doctors that
addict,
do stuff
but
like that.
uh,
I mean, there are some bad
I
doctors.
there's some. I mean, yeah, there's bad people in every field, sure.
Yeah,
But
right.
to coin the whole of the medical community, like this is things that could happen to you.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think that's something that you should expect. Like, we in Baltimore, we're just going through this doctor
Big Pharma has
ended.
a better heal rate than God for sure.
But yeah, but I'm saying this doctor just ended their existence because they were caught. There it was a gynecologist who was like taping their examinations with women and getting off on it. And yeah, they were going to lose everything.
Oh
And it's
yeah.
like, yeah, there are bad people in every field, but I wouldn't go, I wouldn't tell people, hey, don't go to a gynecologist because, this happened to
You'd think
somebody
that
I
being
know,
a
or,
gynecologist
that,
is
like,
must be
this is
another
not
one of
the
them.
norm.
I
Bad
wouldn't look.
doctors are not the norm. And, if you're really concerned, like, you can look up reviews on pretty much, I don't know. Here you can look it up in any doctor. I don't know what it's like in Kentucky, but we actually have like websites and things where you can see doctor
And
reviews.
obviously, blessed be he did not need medication for her mental illness because she would still have to have it because no,
Oh
I'm
no,
not ever
Jesus.
going to be convinced that God healed. Jesus healed
Yeah,
any
it was
mental
Jesus.
illness.
Yeah, she
Yes.
didn't need the sugar pills. It was totally God. It wasn't any of that modern medicine. She just said
Yeah.
a prayer and Jesus healed.
Yeah.
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 Wonder why you don't save all them kids every day that die of starvation.
Yeah. Yeah. That's I don't know.
He must be too busy with BE's sugar pills.
Yeah.
All right.
He
But
didn't
no,
have time.
I have immense respect for you. Getting through that. I know it was a bitch.
Yeah, I mean, and it's an ongoing thing, Like I
Hmm.
don't crave drugs anymore, but like I still have to deal with the fact that I didn't start living my life until I was like 35 years old.
And
Well, I
and
was
it's
like
got you so
33.
and it's got you screwed up with your felonies and
Yeah, yeah.
rain
I'm
and
still trying to get out of the hole that
yeah.
all those years of that put me in, and it's a struggle sometimes, but I'm always learning new things, and uh, I'm happy even if I do struggle at times. I'm happy for the most part, and like I learned so many good lessons from it. Like I don't, like while money makes life easy and stuff, I know that I can make it without money and be happy. I know I can, if I'm put in a situation, I know how to handle things, like, it's just, I learned a lot of wisdom from it, and I've tried to share that with others, and I try to, just do the best I can. And one of the things is like, I got clean when my 8-year-old was born, right about the same time, and so it's been really cool that I've been able to care for my kids the way that I would have wanted to, because on drugs I wouldn't have been able to do that, but I would have felt guilt about it the whole time, which would have led to more drugs, of course. And so I'm glad for my kids and stuff, because if nothing else, I know that my kids are well taken care of and loved, and they don't want for anything if I can do it, and if I can't, I go through hell trying to do it anyway. So there's a bright side, but it's not something that you really ever beat. I don't think it's always going to be a part of
Hmm.
me,
Yeah.
and if I can take that part of me and use it to benefit other people now, that's definitely what I want to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I knew Derek had he was an addict too.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Derek has a
He
lot
put
of
out a
awesome videos on the Derek
he
Lambert
put out a
channel.
new
Yeah.
video the other day that is awesome. It's on
Mhm.
evolution. It is
Oh yeah,
so good. I loved it. I loved it. It was awesome.
yeah. He's a lot of fun. Um,
He ain't bad to look at either. That's bad. I shouldn't say that.
I was waiting on somebody to say it.
I can't help it.
Like,
I can't help it. He's
yeah.
easy on the eyes.
Derek's a good looking dude. I don't have any problem saying that. He's a good looking dude.
Well, I hate to objectify people, but
Well, you said it. I was just agreeing.
Yes, I got co-sign.
I just took it further. But yeah, the I don't know. Derek has put out a lot of good stuff though about it,
he
and
has so
I
much
thought about
energy.
doing a channel about
He
drugs and
just has so
stuff.
much energy. Just so
Yeah,
much. Like,
I'm always
Oh God,
afraid
yeah.
to like tell stories about my life with drugs and stuff, because I don't want to romanticize it. I don't want to somebody out there that's dealing with it, or somebody out there
Mhm.
that's just getting into drugs. I don't want them to go do the things that I did, and so I'm real careful about which stories and stuff I tell. And I know people ask a lot for me to tell some like crazy stories and stuff, but I'm kind of careful about that.
No, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I don't want. Yeah, I don't want to make it seem like it's a good idea, because it's not. Uh, None of it
no,
is.
don't make it sound more
Don't
fun than it
follow in
was.
my footsteps. Don't listen to me about anything.
Now, for every minute of fun you had, there's like a week of harm
Can you
that
hear
you
my
caused
accent?
you or
I'm a
yourself
dipshit
or
from
somebody else.
Kentucky. Yeah, no, for real though. Yeah, it's I don't want to. Uh, I did enough damage selling drugs to people, and doing drugs with girls, and people that may have not done those things. I mean, they may have done it. I don't know, but I feel like I introduced people to drugs, and I did a lot of horrible, horrible, horrible things. And I've tried to make amends for those things, and to move on and stuff. And there's always going to be a little bit of guilt, but I've tried to fix the things that I can, and the
Hmm.
ones that I can't, I'm sorry for them or whatever. But that I have
You gotta
to
make,
live
yeah,
my
you gotta make
life.
your peace with it.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing to get through too,
Um,
because on drugs you
but
don't
yeah,
have
no, I
emotions.
mean, you,
It ain't
yeah,
like that most people would have survived it in where you live without being exposed to it if they
Well,
hadn't come through
the
you.
death rate went up 600% in my county. So if that tells you anything,
God.
um,
You must
yeah,
have had some really
Well, I
bad
mean,
dope.
it just, to me, it's just
I
like, where the fuck are
know.
your, like, was your government? Like like
yeah.
we do know what keeps people,
They
productive,
don't give a shit.
and
They just put
yeah,
you in jail and they start
Well,
you in the
it's cheaper to
system so
let
you
you
can start
die than
paying
it
them
is to fix
money.
it.
that
You can
is
start
true.
paying them for your classes, your jail classes, and
Yeah,
your your jail time and your bond and your bail. Just it's just a money racket here in Kentucky. That's all it is.
Yeah. Yeah. No guilt till you're sober. Yeah.
And then you can't vote. After that you can't vote, so they got you vote out your vote out. Yeah,
They're trying to fix that. I think that.
I got the I got my atheist voter, and this one says, "Keep your dogma off of my rights."
Yeah. That's a big thing that I talk about, though, as far as related to the drugs, though, is people's rights. You have rights for a reason. You should observe them and use them.
Yeah.
I know that sounds like, well, if I'm not doing anything wrong, no, you should use your rights. There's a reason that you have them.
You should know them before you get in trouble. Actually,
the cops are not trying to help you out. They're not. They're trying to investigate a crime, and their
And they
job
can
is
lie.
to prosecute. Yes,
they can legally lie to you.
They'll tell you anything they have to
That's
tell
not
you.
just lawful lie.
And you can't say you have to tell me you're a cop. That's horseshit. Like,
Yeah, I don't know who came up with that.
yeah, it's stupid.
They also don't have to read you your Miranda rights anymore.
Well,
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Did they just do that?
Our
No,
Supreme
it's
Court,
about
we've got to fix our
a couple
court.
of years ago. I mean, like not like a bunch of years ago. I want to say like 2 or so. It's relatively recent. I mean, it's Trump's appointees.
Yeah,
Biden. Well, I'm not having as much trouble with Amy Coney Barrett as I am with Alito has got to go, and Thomas has got to go because both of them are on the take.
Mhm.
And then Brett Kavanaugh is a
Problematic.
SA. He should never have been on the court anyway.
yeah. I thought that whole thing was crazy.
Those are the 3 that I want removed. Amy Coney Barrett, actually, I think is coming around a little bit. She's still in that weird cult and stuff.
She hasn't been as extreme as you thought. As we thought she was.
Right? Yeah, that's where I wanted to go with that. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. She has really bad takes, but I
thought
really thought she and Kavanaugh would have switched. But
if you watch the the abortion pill thing, and then the other one the other day, on the what's it called, where they have to take care of you in the emergency room. I can't think of what's the name of it, but both of those deal with abortions.
mm-hmm.
Amy Coney Barrett, every question she asked was about the health of the woman. Like she focused on that.
Yeah.
She asked
and you could
really
tell,
good questions.
and you could tell that the part that it was upsetting to her when she found out that a woman's health was being just bypassed, intentionally. She didn't like that. I could tell. So she may be coming around a little bit.
I don't know.
She's not going to be pro-abortion.
She's done this before, and still, like, all of her questions were like, "Oh, it looks like she's going to side with the liberals," and then it's just like, "Nah, I'll just sign off on the guys." I'm just waiting with bated breath.
But she had, and plus they haven't proven any corruption on her.
Right.
You know what I mean? She's not being accused even so much as the first thing of corruption, other than just being a Federalist Society, plant.
Our Supreme Court is directly tied to like how much we believe.
What's wrong with SCOTUS? Are you serious?
That what? What?
What's wrong?
Yeah, I mean, do you think she reads the newspaper?
Supreme Court of the United States should be 2 of the Supreme Court justices should be caught actually taking bribes from billionaires. I mean, Thomas was given a motor home, his mom's house regenerated, the Bible that what's his name had. Maya, give me the name.
I'm sorry. I was reading chat. What am I looking?
Anyway, he was given all this stuff, and had cases in front of the court. Okay, and his wife was one of the, insurrection plotters. Okay, and then Alito. Okay, Alito. He says that the Supreme Court is above that. He makes up shit. He made up shit in the overturning Roe versus Wade. He made up his crap. He quoted like laws are just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. He's a clown.
Hey,
He is
Robin.
I can. He's my least favorite. I would keep Thomas before I would keep him. I cannot stand Alito. I would love to see them impeach him. It
Robin.
would just make me have just like orgasmic sex right there if they would
Well,
impeach him, because he is just so arrogant and condescending and just thinks he's just so much above everybody, and it just makes me sick to hear. I want to puke. And he's the one that leaked he's the one that leaked it. I guarantee he's the one that leaked it, because he leaked the case from Hobby Lobby. He leaked that, and those people told on him, and and so he did it again.
Robin.
He's a scumbag.
Robin.
What?
Hey, I want to thank you a lot for helping out tonight and stuff. Okay, I really
No.
appreciate it. You've helped me many times make these things possible, and I really do appreciate it. But I have children I have to put to bed.
Okay.
And my son will not go to sleep unless I lay down with him. So
That is true. That is true. Blessed be He.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Okay, Joe.
but
Thanks.
I love you and I appreciate
Love you
you,
too.
and I just want you to know that. And Maya, I look forward to sitting down and talking with you soon.
Oh,
And
yeah. Wait, do we have
I
a date?
really appreciate
I believe in democracy.
you coming and talking to me the other day. It helped out a lot because
Yeah, I
So
wanted to talk to
long. Blessed
I
be
kind
He.
of wanted to follow up with you on that, but no, babies come first, obviously.
yeah. Well, we
Wait,
can.
do we have a date?
Yeah, I think it's the 20th. In fact, I know it's the 20th.
20th?
Yeah.
Like in 7 days?
Yeah.
Okay, works for me. I just need to write it
Okay.
down so I don't forget. All right.
Big Bad Mama, there's 7 Catholics on the Supreme Court. 7 of 9 are Catholics.
Yeah.
Even Sotomayor is a Catholic. She's a liberal Catholic.
But holler
Just
at me at Discord, Maya, and we'll
Okay.
I'll tell you a little bit about what a few inside things. But
All right, it works for me.
bye, Joe.
but bye everyone, and thank you so much for supporting me and the channel and supporting Robin. And have a good night, everybody.
Night.
I'm telling Blessed be He. She said, "Do you support democracy?" Okay, let me tell you something, Blessed be He. I don't know if you remember
Well,
this. Or not.
was she talking about you or was she talking
No.
about the Supreme Court?
Supreme Court, but okay. Mitch McConnell, my little senator, okay, he was the leader of the Senate. Okay, when Obama was president, he had the chance a year before the election to nominate a Supreme Court justice. And he did not get to. Mitch McConnell refused to have any hearings for over a year. Okay, it refused to have any hearings, which just completely blowed up what is the common practice of the court. Okay, so then that's what got Kavanaugh in. Okay, and so then he turns around, and when Trump is president, he gets named 3 of them. Amy Coney Barrett was put on the court, and voting had already started in the election. Early voting had already started in the 2020 election, and he made Obama wait for a year. Okay, so that's the kind of shit right there. Is that democracy to you, Blessed be He? Is that democracy? The man who did not even win he's never won a popular vote. I mean, so he's never gotten the most votes from most Americans. Okay, and they get appointed and put on the court by senators who don't represent the majority of Americans. And then they get put on there and by different little tactics of this and this and this. That's democracy in your mind? You might go back to civics class.
I mean, I don't know. The Supreme Court has always been sus, and I'm not trying to give them a pass at all, but
they've never been this bad, though.
I don't know. Are you black?
I can't believe that the evangelicals have created a court of 7 Catholics. What the hell was y'all thinking about, B.He? You're not Catholic, are you?
Yeah, I mean, they don't. The people trying to get them on, I don't really think they cared about their denomination so much as their
They will though.
ideologies.
I mean, if one of them ever gets in charge for very long, they will start carrying out, and then they'll be fighting each other. I mean, it's just the way they always have done.
Well, right now they're there for life, so they'd have to. I don't know.
Hopefully,
I
some of
don't
them
know what
won't
they
be
would
too
do.
long.
But I mean, Catholics, I think, is still the biggest Christian sect, right? So I don't know that it'll ever be a problem, honestly.
Well, actually, they may not be there for life. Here's the deal: Biden is Biden does not want to do anything.
He's
He
not going
is
to do
like big
shit.
on it. He's big on the institutions and stuff like that, and he won't even really like he in the like in. Did you watch his interview with Howard Stern?
No.
Okay, he does a whole big interview with Howard Stern, and it's a really good interview. And Howard asked him about changing the court, and Biden's like, "I'm not going to talk about the court." You know what I mean? He said, "As a president, I should not, you know, say stuff about the court." You know, like, and so he's not really for changing it much. But I mean, if like they're trying to set up a thing to where every president would get to name every 4-year president would get to name a
No,
justice.
there's a lot
They
of
wouldn't be
different.
on there for life. They would be
There's
on there for terms, and there would
Yeah,
be
no,
every
there's a lot of different ways that have been proposed. None of them are bills. None of them, which is what they would have to be. Like they're not. I mean, these are things that are being talked about in leftist think tanks. None of them
electric
are
college.
active.
Oh, I'm sorry, Maya.
There's nobody in Congress that is actively pursuing this. So I mean, right
Yeah,
now we've
White
got
House
him for
is.
life.
Yes, yes, Senator Whitehouse is. Yes, he may be
I mean,
on
I'm
his
not saying
own.
that there's no support for
No,
it. Like,
he's that's what he works on all the time. He's on the Judiciary Committee, so he stays on it constantly.
is it going
It's
to get
just
out
real
of
hard
it?
getting anything done.
He's not getting anything out of committee. This is what I'm talking about. Like, there's a lot of people that want healthcare for all. We're not going to get it.
Well, he's not on
It's
the
just, it's
healthcare.
not
He's
viable.
not on the healthcare. He's on the Judiciary Committee, but
No, no,
he
no,
is
no, no.
working
I'm
on
saying that there's
making.
a lot of people who want a lot of things, but a lot of shit isn't viable right now.
Yeah,
We need to move, like, and we need more people moving, like voting people out and moving to the left, the way the
yeah.
right voted out. Like, I want to say Trump's first term, every single Republican that was up for reelection got primaried from the right. We need to do that, but from the left.
Yeah. I mean, there's be he again. Be he. Do you know what the electoral college is? The electoral college is not important. It is cheating.
Obama won
It
the
is
popular vote twice in a row.
yes.
Like, like
Um,
every president, every single president was elected by the electoral college, not just
the
Obama.
the electoral college was developed so slave states could actually they would actually sign the Constitution because they refused to without it because it helps them cheat and win. It's cheating. I mean, I don't know. Do you like democracy? It doesn't sound like it.
She likes Jesus. You know, I mean, she does what she does. You don't have to pay
Hillary
attention.
might have been. I wasn't a Hillary fan, but she could not have been any fucking nowhere near as bad as Trump.
I don't understand the like. Well, I don't. I mean, not that you're doing this, but I hear this from a lot of leftists. It's just like, well, I don't really like them, and they don't represent me. And I'm like, nobody's ever going to represent you. Like you
I was
don't.
wrong.
You have no idea what it takes to like how much money it takes to get somebody to represent you right now.
I was wrong about Hillary. I mean, I
Yeah,
realized
I
that now.
mean, I I'm not a fan of any politician. However, had Hillary gotten in, we would be in a Supreme Court utopia right now. Like we just never would worry about our rights.
Yeah. I I was wrong about her. I mean, after I was wrong about her, and I actually I've been a registered Republican all my life. I still am because
Mhm.
there are no Democrats that run for anything here, and we're only
Mhm.
allowed to vote for the party in the primary. So
Right.
I would not even be able to vote. Like there's like 4 or 5 Republicans that run for jailer or
Okay,
sheriff
gotcha.
or something like that, and I would not be able to vote for any of them until the last race where they ran against a good Democrat, and there's never a Democrat. We don't have a Democrat that runs for my state senate. There's not a Democrat that runs for my state representative.
Yeah, I was talking to people in Florida that were saying the same thing. Like they wanted to vote like straight Democrat, and they were like that. There's just like every other category had, you know,
No
it was
Democrat.
either all Republican or sometimes they could go around the Republican by voting Green or Libertarian, but it was just impossible to vote straight party Dem. And I'm like,
PC,
man, that's crazy.
send her home.
What you do now?
She
You
said,
don't know. You don't have to white knight for me. I am so used to
Maya,
her.
why are you such a flip flopper? If you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything.
Nobody, I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. Nobody believes that about me.
I
Like,
know.
there's not a single person
I
that
mean,
thinks that I flip flop on anything.
you wonder why people don't want you around. I don't understand why you do this. You could just sit here and talk like normal people with us.
Um, yeah. Oh, that's what I was saying earlier. Like me and Titan were like kind of musing about. It's like, okay, I'm like, do you think she was a homeschool kid and she just doesn't know how to act in like normal, like in the public or around other people, or do you think she's like this with other people? So she's just like embraced, like, well, people are gonna hate me, so I may as well give them a reason.
I think she's a
Um,
dog picker, Nat.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
You
I
know, a
mean,
dog picker, Nat. They're real
no,
annoying.
I want to say like I've heard a phrase like that. Not that. What was it? I don't know. The old lady say something like, and not that you're an old lady, but like out here they have
I am.
a phrase similar to that. And Hovendite. Yeah, yeah.
I was
I was
homeschooled.
homeschooled. Hey, called it. See, look, if you had
Big
banned
surprise.
her, I would not be able to say yet again, I was right.
Big surprise.
Why
I
is that
started to
wrong?
say,
No, homeschool.
well,
I mean, so for those of us raised in, I was Catholic. I was a Catholic school kid, but whether it like just a normal school, right? Whether it's private school or public school, we all agree on one thing: homeschool kids are weird. They don't interact with the public at large, so they have
they don't
like
learn
these
social skills.
mannerisms and yeah, like
Yeah.
the social skills are something to be desired.
They like started.
Um,
They started at adult age, and then they're like doing the 12-year-old social, you know, si- relationships.
and part of me thinks it's like really cool that they got to develop like their own unique, authentic personality because like we all get formed um, either by like television or by I mean just locally. This is okay to act. This
Bullying.
isn't okay to act. We'd all be very different if we didn't have um yeah, bullying, like if we were pressured to conform, at a young age. So part of me is like, well, you get to be your true authentic self, like, but a lot of good that does you because everybody thinks you're weird and doesn't know how to relate to you. So like
Yeah,
it's
there you go. Blessed be He. That's what's wrong with it. Is you don't know how to interact with people. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't like coming on channels all the time and just making everybody talk bad to me. I don't know. I don't understand the interest in it.
I mean, if you're used to it, if that's been your whole life, you know, probably, I don't know. It looks like she embraces it. It's like nobody's
You kind of
yelling at
expect
me.
that.
Time to
You do it
amp
all
it
the
up.
time.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I deal with so many abrasive personalities all the time. Like she doesn't really.
You're nice, Maya. You're nicer than I am.
Uh, no, yeah. I mean, I guess I'm not. I think I'm more tolerant than most people. Um,
You're always thinking about that little head thing because you get the psychologist.
yeah, I do. I
I'm just kind of
do.
like what kind of mood I'm in.
No, I do. I do think strategically. It's like everything I do. It's just like, all right, what's the long term goal? What is the logical conclusion to this action? Yeah, it's exhausting, but I end up getting what I want most of the time. So you deal.
It's a goddess thing.
You said you wanted to ask me a question.
Well, it was about um, that that channel. You
Which
know,
one?
the Atheist for Liberty or whatever.
Oh yeah,
I
those
went over
fuckers.
there
Why?
and watched some more of their content,
Okay.
and there is a debate on social justice
Mm-hmm.
that is actually it's worth watching. There's because there's a liberal there, and I don't think
Like
he's a
what?
part of that organization.
That's really broad. Like what?
And that other guy, well, I mean, it's like should the Atheists for Liberty advocate for social justice issues, or stay away from them. And that guy doesn't do the debate, and he's the moderator. But there is another
Okay.
guy. There's a liberal there, and the liberal is so good. He just
Okay.
wears that guy out. And um, yeah, it's really good. It's really, really good. And he makes good arguments and everything. And I don't know what to think about them people. Really, they're really weird. I mean, just
Yeah. I mean, here's my thing. One, why the fuck wouldn't you? I'm sorry, not to cuss on your stream,
you can
but
cuss.
I don't understand why you wouldn't. Like who? I mean,
Well, because
everybody advocates
he's a
for.
bigot.
No, no, no. I
He,
understand, but like if I get that, which is my whole point, but like even if it's like I work for a retirement community, so the company literally doesn't have a stance on abortion outside of the fact that I mean individuals are pro-abortion, but like the company doesn't have an abortion stance, but we are very pro education for the ageism, dementia, um, caregivers getting the proper help that they need to be able to assist their loved ones, and just community education on death, dying, normal age, what's normal aging versus what's not normal aging, when should you be concerned, just things like that. Like, how do you, and I understand it's okay, it's a healthcare agency, so we're going to have, stance on healthcare, but like, how do you not care about anything? And it's a lie also, because they're going to fucking CPAC. They're not going to the what's the DNC thing? You know what I mean? Like they're not doing anything with the DNC.
yeah,
All their outreach is in right wing areas. Like listening to him talk the other day, I'm like, you're bringing right wingers in, and he was like, and when he was talking to Ember yesterday, he was like, well, yeah, I'm a Republican, but that has nothing to do with my stance with the company. And I'm like, it does if you're only outreaching to Republicans.
well, if you think the face eating leopards are not going to eat your face off because you've hung out with them for a little while,
Well, he
you
is a
might be
face-eating
laughing.
leopard, and
Huh?
he is a face-eating leopard though, and he's only
Yeah,
reaching out
yeah,
to
but
other
he's
face-eating
not at
leopards.
the top of the food chain.
But he's also that's who he's partnering with though. He's not partnering. He's saying that, oh well, we have Democrats, and I'm like,
But they
sure,
did, from
but
what I've seen on there, they did.
I'm not saying that they don't. But
Um,
like, I
but there was
it feels like it's happenstance, right? That's not
it
where
was
the
really,
outreach is.
it was really weird though. He was like, he was really very though. He took all that really well. and
He
he
was
was. I thought, he didn't get like
frustrated.
defensive, like defensive.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He was
I didn't.
frustrated.
It didn't seem like it to me. It seemed like he was just pretty quick to answer the questions. I figured he'd run. Actually, I did. I figured
I
he'd run.
well, Ember is really amicable. I think running is going to look weak, which with the people that he's keeping around him isn't going to be. It's going to be a bad look. Certainly from like the president, CEO, whatever the hell he is. No, he was.
Do I think there'd be less drug addicts? No, I think there'd be more drug. I think the reason why religion's one of the reasons why we have drug addicts, and the Republican Party dragging drugs in here and shit. I
So the
mean,
thing is, I mean, the we see more drug addicts in the states that run themselves like
yeah,
theocracies.
the theocratic states are higher drug addict
Yeah.
places. Y'all don't excel at nothing. I mean, you have more
No, I
teenage
mean,
pregnancies. You
more
have
teenage
higher,
pregnancies,
you have higher murder rates, higher rape rates, higher
lower.
child abuse rates,
The
higher.
education rate is lower too.
Yeah,
High school diplomas, the average cost of living, child poverty. STD rates are higher.
I mean these statistics are everywhere. Blessed be He.
Yeah.
Just find me one thing that they win in.
Oh yeah, more maternal mortality rates are higher. Infant
Yeah,
mortality rates are higher. It just
child
right.
poverty, child poverty. Just
I just there's
everything.
nothing. I There's actually a study that came out, and I'm not sure. I mean, I could find it, but it would take me a while. That said that liberal states are actually faring better with. Um, it was like children's health, like
Yeah,
well-rounded health, like yeah, as well as like education and mental health, like just all the well-rounded in states that give more social supports.
yeah, and like,
So
well, I
where
mean,
you're not states that aren't fighting unemployment, that are giving what do you call it, healthcare to all children regardless of their parents' status,
let's say low
that are
income,
providing free
race low
school
income.
lunches, yeah, that have higher what do you call it, living wage, let's say living wages, but have a higher minimum wage. Just all the things that the left is asking for, begging for. In
Yeah,
states that just do that naturally, children have better outcomes. I,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, theocracies are
right.
bad, and this is why
They
we're
don't
fighting
address
against them.
the issue. They just punish people for it,
Yeah.
and they punish people for being human, and they don't address the root of the issue. They just think they can ban it. And have you been to California? My oldest daughter
Yeah,
lives in California. It is very, very nice. It's expensive, yes, it
it's
is,
really
but it
expensive.
is so nice to be out there with people who aren't wearing stupid red hats.
Mm. No, that's out here. I've actually never seen a Trump hat. Um, I was behind a car today that had like, it was just like a white piece of cardboard that said "Wake 'em up, Trump." And I was
I mean, I just keep
like
hoping. I keep
in
hoping that
Sharpie.
tomorrow I wake up and he died overnight. It's bad to say, isn't it? No, it isn't. I don't really care.
I mean, it's how you feel.
I think surely
I
I'm not the only one
really,
that feels like that. I mean,
I know that I didn't. I've heard people saying that for quite a while. And with the last election, I really didn't want that to happen because I was afraid he would be martyred.
I don't care if he's
And
martyred. I don't care. I
well, no,
don't care.
it really is bad for us.
Because if he's martyred, that means he can never be president again. That's all I know. I don't care how they martyr him.
Right.
He will
Yeah.
never
No, no,
be
no.
there.
I mean, but if he's a martyr, then he is like the poster. He's like, I mean, they have the ability to elevate him above Jesus. And like, this is
They
what
already
Trump
have.
stood for. And, this is what we should, I mean, it was really bad when he was in office. Now,
Listen,
I mean,
do you like
pulled
Trump
a
better
lot.
than Jesus? Do you think Trump is better than Jesus? I
It's
want
cool.
to.
I'm just saying it's cooled a lot since he's left office. So
Oh yeah,
um
I mean the man is in court right now for
yeah.
cheating on his wife with a porn star. I mean, I'm old enough to remember when that was usually kind of get you thrown out of the presidential race. You would have to, drop out because you were cheating on your wife who had just gave birth to a baby with a porn star that you actually essayed pretty much from what I heard about the testimony. So
D- Do I think Bush is worse than the Bushes? I think both Bush,
yeah, both
well,
of them.
George W. and Trump, like I saw, as doing nothing in office. They all let, their
George
VPs
W.
or
is not
their
very smart, and Trump's not very smart
he
either. But
couldn't do
George W. is
well.
not
He
evil.
actually did more than Trump, but like both of them, like they just kind of sat back and they were rubber stamps.
Yeah,
I think Trump is the worst president because no other president has tried to
yeah.
has
He's
led
a
an
bar.
insurrection.
He's
Like
he's a
at the
swamp.
point that you're trying to overthrow the democracy, I think you get the trophy for worst president. Like
He
that my opinion.
he's
But
swamp. He is the swamp. He is the swamp. We should put him in the swamp.
I don't know. Like was Andrew Jackson the one that like oversaw the death of 3 million natives? Like
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, Trump had a really bad body count, sure. Or Bush, sorry. Trump did too, actually. But I,
yeah. They
it,
wiped out the
our the
Andrew Jackson wiped
country's
out
done
the.
a lot of really horrible shit. And I mean, if we're going to talk about body counts, I mean, I think they all have blood on their hands, honestly, and egregiously so.
Oh, I don't think that the Bushes were good. I don't think they were inherently evil. I think they were in that Republican mindset of nation building, and they thought that they were
Mhm.
doing the right thing with that. And I think that Dick Cheney had a lot to do with George W.'s response to everything, and the war hawks that were running that place. I mean, look, George W. Bush nominated a Supreme Court appointee, and he now nominated one of his cabinet members, a woman, and he ended up having to retract that and go ahead and put, was it Thomas? Is that when Thomas went in? Put Thomas on.
On what?
So I mean that the far right people threw such a fit that the president wasn't even allowed to nominate. He had announced it in public. He was not even allowed to nominate the person that he picked. They put strong armed him so bad that he
Mhm.
retracted his Supreme Court pick.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So he wasn't in charge. Dick Cheney was in charge.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, when I look at Trump and Bush, like they just kind of sat back and let other people run.
Yeah, we tortured people under them. We
Hmm.
actually committed torture on people,
Hmm.
like some kind of dark age nation.
I mean, it is kind of part and parcel of the history of our country, though. Just IJS. But I don't
The
know.
thing about America, though, that makes me mad is we've committed these atrocities, and instead of admitting we did it and 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 saying
Hmm.
what can we do to make sure this doesn't happen again, and what can we do to make it right, or try, or at least to offer an apology, we say no, it didn't happen, and then we set ourselves up right to do it again, like we're doing right now.
Well, yeah, no, it's called fear mongering for votes.
But I'm
That's,
not.
I
But
believe, that's
it's
the
like
technical
it's like
definition.
I mean, they're setting it up,
Well,
and everybody's going right through the steps again, and not
yeah.
even looking.
Well, no, they can't do anything that looks like they're trying to unite us. Their rich donors don't allow it.
I mean, how has nobody noticed that they're never right about anything?
That's a great question. I've wondered that for a very long
I
time.
mean,
I'm like,
make a
they,
scorecard.
I mean, just all the times that you're always let down, and then you're just like, oh, that's the swamp, and the Democrats are probably the same. And I'm like, I mean, just the last time, anything that you like about the government came from the what do you call it, the Progressive Party or the Left Party. whether it was like Social Security, ACA, anytime
Medicaid,
the minimum wage in every single
minimum
time has
wage,
gone
women
up.
vote,
Yeah. FMLA.
Title IX,
Yeah.
women getting credit cards, women being able to have their husband arrested for sexually assaulting them, which was legal up until what, 1996 or 94.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the state, but yeah, I think that
No, I mean the
was.
federal though. I know, but like
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
federally, it
Yeah.
became against when Biden did pass the Violence Against Women Act. I mean, his his policing legislation was terrible and all that, but he did pass the Violence Against Women Act,
Hmm.
and that's probably one of the most important pieces of legislation that he'll ever be responsible for. And it provided women with shelters for, if they're battered, women's shelters. It provided it made it to where that they had to, like, cops had to write up police reports and everything, and they could actually take them and put them somewhere where they were safe, and they could issue the restraining orders, all that stuff, and they could offer the women some kind of money and housing and stuff to get away from people.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I don't
I
know.
mean,
Like
we don't,
I'm
as
like
women, we
racking my
don't
head
realize
trying to,
we
like,
don't
whenever
realize what it was
Republicans do
like.
anything, they're coming across the aisle. They're not like
No, but we don't
outside of.
even, these women today don't realize what it was like. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No,
They
I
don't
know.
even, and the ones that are old enough to remember it just obviously didn't live in that kind of life,
Yeah.
because there was a time when if your husband beat you, you couldn't get a divorce from him.
Yeah.
You couldn't get a job. You couldn't have a
Right.
credit card. It was illegal to buy a home in your name. I mean, and they want to go back to this. Who wants to go back to that?
I For the women who are old enough to remember, I think that they just think that I think they're living in this kind of like blissful ignorance that oh, they don't want to do that.
Well, my dad wasn't like that. So my mom didn't live that life. You know what I mean?
I gotcha.
So she doesn't know what other women were facing, because guess what? Nobody talked about that shit either. So it was, you held your tongue, and you put on a brave face, and you did your makeup, and you went on about your life and
Hmm.
pretended it wasn't happening.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was ubiquitous. I remember hearing the stories, from like my even with my mom's mom, her sisters wouldn't talk to her dad because he was so abusive. When my grandmother was pregnant with my uncle, who was their fourth and final child, he got mad at her, pushed her downstairs, like 6 months pregnant. It.
I mean, I can even see the women that don't care about themselves enough.
Mhm.
But who has a child and thinks, that's what the life I want for my daughter? I have
I
two daughters, and you know what I mean. And I do not. I would rather go through the rest of my life of living hell than to think about 1 minute of them being put through that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I'm scared to
I
death
don't.
for my
I
daughter
think
to
it's.
have any
I think it's
rights.
I think it's compartmentalized, right? Um, you have people who clearly don't read or do any kind of research for themselves, and they serve a good and loving God, who is going to protect them and watch after them, and because they serve him, he would just never let anything bad happen to him, and their pastor says that this is what God wants. I don't think they look at it the same way that you and I do.
No, I wish they'd got what God wants. But I will say this though: when that guy was talking yesterday, I couldn't help but say it. I would rather have humanist believers than
Mhm.
atheist bigots.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there
Yeah.
are, like, the UU Church, and there's some very liberal churches, and they are
Mhm.
some very good people, and in fact, they're probably way better than me. You know what I mean? Because they actually will hold love in their heart where I get mad, and they think they're, and I don't believe in their God, but I think that, like Jimmy Carter, I've always said that if belief in God ever made two people be better humans, it was Jimmy Carter and his wife. You know,
Yeah, I never
um,
followed Carter that closely. I mean, I heard that he had a horrible um,
he was a horrible president.
years. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there's a worm. There's a worm that in Africa that it's in the drinking water. Okay, and I cannot remember the name of it, but it goes. You drink it, and it gets into your body, and then it comes out like through your skin, like makes an open sore and comes out.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah.
And okay, when he took over this, he's the only one. His foundation's the only one that worked on it. When he took over it, there were like like 3 million cases of this.
Hmm.
Okay, and like a few years ago, they had it down to 13 actual cases left. That's been his whole family's work. His whole work, and then. Him and his wife would actually. I remember he had cancer, skin cancer, and he still had a bandage on his head. And he was at Habitat for Humanity. They built homes in the guinea worm. That's it. They built homes in 13 countries for
Hmm.
Habitat for Humanity, and he would actually be there hammering.
Hmm. Oh,
I
you're talking
mean,
about Carter, right?
yes.
Yeah, I did. No, I've been very impressed with Carter post presidency.
And he supported gay people. He
Hmm.
supported he said Jesus never said a word about gay people. I mean, that's why he always said it. I mean,
It's not in
he
there.
put
Yeah.
solar panels on the White House, and Trump and them took them off when they
Right.
got there. They'd been there since Carter was president.
Oh, yeah. Well, solar powers are the affront to their oil donors, so can't have that.
I mean, he was that far ahead of his time. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But he wasn't politically. He was he wasn't an insider of the political scene. He was
Well,
like,
he had a
he just came up out of a farm or a Georgia farm, and
I'm kind of surprised that he ran for president because you don't normally see people with that big of a heart that go into politics,
yeah, I know.
not at that level.
And he was real paranoid during his presidency.
Hmm.
And so he pissed off a lot of even his own party people. And then, of course, fuel, like that was when the Ayatollah Khomeini or whatever it was, all that happened. I remember sitting in line for hours and hours to get gas. You know what I mean? There
Hmm.
was like there
Oh
was
yeah,
a
yeah. I
limit
heard
on
that
how many
gas was
gallons.
like $5 in the '80s, and I was like,
Yeah,
"Holy
this was the
crap!"
70s. But you couldn't even buy
Oh, right,
gas.
right, in the
You
'70s.
couldn't
Yeah,
even buy gas like over so
yeah.
many gallons. You were only allowed to buy so many gallons of gas.
Hmm.
And see, like my dad had, he always had Crown Vics, those car LTDs,
Hmm.
And I remember that's when the Crown Vic finally left. That we got an Omni. My dad hated that because he's real tall and stuff, but my mom bought an Omni because it was so much cheaper on gas.
Hmm. Yeah, I know that lately, apparently, oh God, gas bores me to tears. But apparently, something was going on back in the '70s at the time, and I didn't know. Well, how would I? I wasn't born yet.
It was
It
Iran.
used.
It was Iran. It was Iran. Iran. That's when they went through their revolution and stuff, and
Mhm.
the Ayatollah got overthrown, and see, Iran was pretty liberal, kind of, and that's when
Mhm.
they took over them and turned them into. That's
Oh,
when
right.
women.
Yeah.
I mean, women used to run around in bikinis and stuff in Iran,
Mhm.
and now they're
Yeah.
wearing bags all over
I've
their
seen.
whole
Yeah, I've seen the
legs.
pictures, which is so
Um,
cool. They're really smart too.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
shame that they're
Islam just
doing this to them.
just that's
Like
the theocracy.
they
That's
were
what a
pumping out
theocracy is like.
they were pumping out female scientists left and right over there. Like what they're doing. I mean, that's just crazy to me. But yeah, I heard that there's a smaller movement that's trying to get traction right now because I guess back then it used to be illegal to make a right hand turn. Like you couldn't turn, period, if the light was red. And so they said, okay, well, you could turn right. And that was to try to conserve gas. But, if you didn't have to, if your
Yeah,
car wasn't on, if you
they
could get to your
lowered
place,
the
yeah,
speed limit to 55. The speed limit
right.
went down to 55. That was horrible. I mean, that was so.
Well,
It took forever to get somewhere, and I
but
mean they
apparently there's
enforced
been a
it.
lot of pedestrian deaths since that. Like they jumped up. And
Yeah,
we still see like a really high number of pedestrian deaths, and certainly like way more injuries than deaths every year from people trying to get around the corner. They're looking for cars, they're not looking for people.
yeah,
And we're injuring and killing people every like a lot of
yeah.
people every year. And so there's a small movement that's trying to get traction, like, okay, we need to stop allowing people to make right-handed turns. um and that was, and they're like, this started back in the 70s when we were trying to, conserve gas. Let's just do the whole electric car thing now so that we don't need it and we can save lives, on a couple of fronts.
I don't
um,
understand when I walk. I pay attention. I don't just walk around like I think that everybody sees me. You know what I mean? Because I know I drive a truck for a living, and
mhm.
our eyes, our brains cut out what we don't. You know what I mean? Like you can look at something and you won't even see all of it. It's just your brain will just like filter it to, and it'll filter sometimes something that you needed to see.
I don't want to blame the pedestrians necessarily. Like a
No, but
lot
I
of times they're
mean,
doing everything
why?
that they're
I
supposed to
mean,
do.
why do
But
you? I'm
if
watching.
yeah, but if especially if you're in big cities, like I I've been in Chicago, LA, Baltimore, DC. It just
I
I want to
drove in them
say
cities. I've never walked in them cities, so
it, yeah, I've done both, and I actually refuse to drive in DC anymore. It's
I
insane.
drove an 18-wheeler in there. So
Oh my gosh,
yeah,
seriously. That
I went
I
around Chicago and I went around the Harpo Studio building 4 times, and like trying to find a way to get out of it. Like get out of the loop or whatever. I couldn't figure out how to get back on.
it's not necessarily a no-brainer to watch out for them. And I'm saying this as somebody who's never been hit by a car, but like drivers aren't watching for pedestrians.
Mm-mm.
And when you're talking about making a right-handed turn, and I'm not talking about little streets, I'm talking about, 4 to 6 lanes of traffic. This person has been coming at you for, a good while, and you're not focused on them. They have the right of way, but you are so intent on getting to work or getting home or whatever it is you're doing that you're not looking out for them. And
You talking about
it
red, like on red? Now, see, in Kentucky, you can
yeah,
make a right turn
driving.
on red, but you have to stop first.
Yeah, you do. But here's the thing: people aren't looking in front of them; they're looking behind them
Yeah, or to the
at
left.
oncoming traffic. Right? Um, they're assuming there are no pedestrians wrongfully. Now, I'm not saying it never happened. I'm not saying that there's a lot of jaywalkers. There's a lot of, but I'm saying living in a lot of major big cities, I've seen a lot of people. Like playing Frogger when they had the right of way, when the person, by all means should have stopped and they just weren't, the driver wasn't thinking.
Yeah, yeah. Nashville's bad. I mean, I go to Nashville every now and then, walk up there, right in there.
But you also hear about like people who, are hit by cars and they're like jogging down the street. People are just bad drivers. And if there's something we can do to save lives, I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting movement that I
We have
read
a lot of
about.
Amish here, and like on
Mm,
the 2-lane
yeah.
road, and they've moved out even further out of town. So now it's like you come up, running 55 on a 2-lane road, and then you come up on an Amish buggy.
A buggy,
Just
yeah.
I just
I've been
I can't
I've
believe there
been
hasn't been more of them. But
I've been caught by, well, because there's a huge Amish community in Pennsylvania, and I'm almost afraid to like be on a side street up there because they are everywhere.
I've hauled a lot of their milk, so I've always gone. The women actually used to like they would come in the milk room like dozens of them at a time and just ask me 100 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were
About
like, "Is
what?
it hard for a woman to drive a truck?" I said, "I don't. If you know what I mean, the man has nothing. There's nothing about him that helps him drive. If you know what I mean." And they think it's so funny when I say that.
Oh, congrats, Dave. But yeah, I don't know.
I saw it. And Mark Reed still here. Oh yeah, he's still
Oh
here.
yeah, why didn't you?
Mark, I was trying to
You
find
can
out if they
you
shipped to
can
you.
you couldn't figure out how to pin the thing.
I was trying to figure out if they shipped to you, Mark.
Yeah, because it's an open stream, but did you pin? Oh, no, you didn't pin the link.
Yeah, I did. It's somewhere in chat. Did anybody want it?
I don't know. Does anybody went in? Because I know a lot of times Mark comes in.
You want in, Mark?
Mark, I need to reach out to Mark because I'm supposed to have him on my show at some point this summer too. Right, I sent it to Mark in Discord.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it was a cool show today. Are you said you're a patron of Matt or of the line?
I'm Patreon of the line.
Okay.
I do the line's Patreon, and but they have like Matt and Arden do. Jimmy every now and then does some of the Zooms, and then Forrest is in on some of them. And I think it's about the only ones. Matt and Arden have been the ones I've done the most with.
Okay. Mark
Reed.
Hello.
I thought you were going live today with Grayson.
No, I rescheduled because Robin contacted me and said like Joe was doing the Matt Delahunty thing, and I'm like, oh, cool. And we thought it would overlap.
Grayson right in the middle of it.
I'm sorry, I didn't know. Joe didn't tell me, and I really should keep a better list on my sort of overview of my upcoming stuff. But there's so many channels, so many people doing stuff. It's kind of hard. But yeah, so yeah. I just rescheduled with Grayson, so that's in a couple of days now. That I said.
I just don't like missing your streams. I mean, I was just look, I'm like to miss Mark's stream because of this. I was so bad. So
that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I don't really worry that much about it. But because people always have stuff going on, it's really hard to sort of work around. So, but yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I've had people say, you should go a little earlier, and I'm like, if I go even an hour earlier, I'm up against 7 other shows. It's just so like the reason we chose the time was because usually by 9, definitely 10, everybody else has finished streaming. Monday, I think Monday is the only day that there's not anything. Well, now that Doc Dino's not streaming on Mondays, the only like day that nobody does anything on anymore.
Well, that's just our sort of little group as well. If you go further outside that, there's tons of people doing stuff. I think you've just got to do what you're doing and not really, mind kind of thing. You just have to go, well, if somebody conflicts, that's just life, it happens. It's okay.
I think everything I read says, have a time and stick to it so that people know when and where to find you.
Yeah.
Because people... like when not that I'm focused so much on growth, but I mean, it's just like streamer best practices. If you're trying to grow or if you're trying to, your community has got to know when to expect you to be on. Otherwise you just,
Yep.
Yeah. But I loved your show with Matt Delahanty. That was really good. You're awesome, Robin. That was great.
He's so fun. You know, and
Yeah.
that's the shirt. He had the shirt on that we're
Mhm.
Bree's getting. I was so happy when Bree
Oh.
signed up. Bree won.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same.
I
That
was
was
I was sitting
cool.
there though. I said I was going to give it to you, and then he said, oh no, because he said just pick somebody, and I was like, you want me to just pick
Yeah.
somebody? I was like, Mark.
No, it's fine. It's so good to see Matt sort of more relaxed and chilled. I haven't seen a lot of, but I don't watch a lot of Matt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
It's
know
like
why.
a
It's not like I have anything like against him. It's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just not around my time kind of thing. Maybe
He's
like it's
a
very late night when I get to it.
like he's real cool in the those streams, those Patreon streams. You know, with him and Arden, he's laid back, and you know he has like
Yeah.
you get to talk to him. You know, just because usually there's like 20 maybe of us in there at most, and we just kind of have it back and forth and and then of course I've met Matt and Arden at the at the conventions too.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't get to ask him about Dave though, and I was wanting to ask him about Dave.
Who's Dave? Which Dave?
After
Dave
the death.
Warnock. Dave Warnock.
Oh, Warnock.
I'm
Oh,
friends with
right.
Dave.
Yeah, he did his last stream, right?
I just hate emailing him because you ask it, are you dead yet? You know what I mean? I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just like,
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. So anyway, I wished I could.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in a while. I need to email him. I used
I mean,
to talk to him a lot.
You can say simple things like, just checking on you, hope you're well. Let me know if you need anything, things like that. And,
I
if they're
I do wellness checks if I think about somebody that I haven't seen them. Like I did one on I emailed Snake was right. He used to be around a lot and suddenly he just sort of dropped off. So
Yeah.
He's doing fine. Just a bit, busy and stuff.
See,
but
Dave kind of went into. He intentionally dropped off the grid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've talked to him a couple of times since then. But even him and Bevan broke up, and so.
Sad. Well, it happens.
So he's not very far. He's in Nashville, or he was, but I don't know. I've texted. I mean, I've messaged him, emailed him a couple of times, and he would email me back, but he never did say much, and I just felt like I was bothering him. Now I know Matt's probably talked to him though.
Yeah, I'm sure Matt's talked to him, but I haven't. I don't know. I'm so burned out of counter apologetics. I was Catholic, so like I didn't believe any of the stuff that evangelicals believed, or I had no idea that most of the stuff that I hear about was even a thing. Like I've never felt like I
mean, they don't understand that there are only people in the world that think that vote and stuff is real, and I mean, like there's like millions of Christians everywhere all over the world that believe in evolution and everything, and you're sitting there going, "This vote is King James Bible or all there is."
Yeah, I'd never heard of a king. We believed in a triomni God, not a quadomni God. Like God is benevolent, he's evil as fuck. Like who would believe that? Like how do you read the Bible and come to that conclusion? It's like, oh, you don't. That makes sense. Or evolution is not a thing. Or
I did I want to show you something.
I don't have the needs to be Catholic, Maya.
Well, I did a stream on the Ark, and I got a 20-paragraph email from somebody pointing how ignorant I was because multiple scientific studies and the next ignorant statement you make is the Ark animals would not fit on the Ark. Like it's like what?
They have baby dinosaurs. That's what Kent Hovind says. That they were babies. That's how you could fit more of them on there that way. They were babies.
yeah, you keep saying no one could build a wooden boat could survive the rough waters. Noah did. It's like, what?
Yeah, okay. Not a cool story, Danny.
Yeah. But it was a massive. So I just sent something back saying, hey, if you want to debate, contact me. I've got to write them an email because I want to,
You
they're
want to debate
quibbling
that
over
person?
Sure. I think it'd be hilarious, like if they're willing to write that statement, I think they're going to be hilarious in a debate. Because holy crap.
They just kill me with her. I don't know. Donnie posted a video today, or just last night, that's scientific proof that that people live to be 900 years old.
Oh, really?
Yeah, scientific proof for the 900-year-old people. And I put on there, this should be good. This is what I wrote in the comments. This should be good. I can't wait.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not scientific evidence for it.
Of course there is.
Surely not. 900 years old.
Of course.
Nephilims and stuff. I don't know. They just kill me.
You said it was 20 or how long was it? What was the response?
It was, let's see.
How many times they call you ignorant?
Oh, too many. And
they too.
Many of thousands of scientists have published thousands of scholarly articles over the years confirming the reality of Noah's Ark. And then it goes, Dr. Andrew Snelling comes to mind. Yeah, Snelling.
Did they ask you about the fossils on top of the mountains? And let's see what else. Ask them about the ice wall, the ice dome.
It's about 18 paragraphs.
Find out if they're a holding one.
That's insane to me. It wouldn't even occur to me I would just unsub and like not watch their videos anymore. It wouldn't even, I can't imagine caring that much that someone was wrong. I'm not saying you were wrong, but like if I really thought that
stuff though, then what's true? I mean, what is true is just way more probable even than all that crazy stuff. And they believe it anyway.
I don't know.
I mean, evolution is no more wild story than Noah's Ark, the Magic Zoo boat.
According to Tucker Carlson, nobody believes evolution anymore.
That idiot.
I found that hilarious. Confidently saying, and nobody believes evolution anymore. It's just like, wow.
Yeah. I mean, just everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody in biology. My daughter graduated with her. She got her master's. She got offered a job in San Jose, teaching high school.
Okay. Yeah, cool.
That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, she's an evolutionary biologist. She's going to teach biology and chemistry.
In high school.
Organic chemistry?
Yeah, she's going to teach chemistry and biology. She's got a degree in both of them. Yeah, she taught high school and middle school both, like this past semester, and she didn't like the middle school. She said that they were like in between that, not quite ready to learn what she wanted to teach them. They were kind of like, I don't think they were too much like in the middle of, some sort of transition in their, from one that stage of life to another that she didn't like dealing with. So,
yeah,
she liked the high school though. It was a really good job too. I mean, California pays teachers good anyway.
California really does. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it's like California good, but they're among the highest in the nation.
Yeah. I mean, it costs a lot to live there, but her fiance, he works there and that around there too. He builds charging stations for electric cars. They're like a little 2-car shed, and they can charge 2 cars side by side in like 3 hours. I think they can about if they can do both cars in 3 hours, and they build them. That's what he builds. Because I was like, why don't you put it on the roof of the car? And he was like, it's not big enough. There's not enough space to charge. He said that there wasn't enough space on the roof of a car to actually keep the car charged, even with the sunlight out and everything. I like California, but it's really expensive.
If I could afford California, I'd be there, but alas.
See, she lives in Santa Cruz right now, and it's like 70 degrees year round. Look, she lives on the coast, a little breeze blowing all the time. There's surfing, there's redwoods, there's, and it's like a little town. There's no like Walmart or nothing like that. Everything there is like a mom and pop sort of, family stores and stuff like that. And it's really nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. A lot of the one house she lived in a couple of years ago, though, burned up in the forest fires. So she was hung up in that.
Oh yeah, yeah. We know all about fires over here too.
Yeah, I want to come to Australia and ride across on a train. I watched this guy all the time. I can't think of his name. He takes train rides and plane rides and stuff. Him and his wife, and he rode like all across Australia on this big fancy train, and it was so cool.
Yeah, there's like a train that goes. I think it's called the India Pacific. It goes from the Indian Ocean to the Pacific Ocean, basically. So that's
This
like
one, this one went through the outback into the outback.
Yeah, it does. It goes like straight across the country.
Yes, Oregon's pretty too, PC. Awesome. It's awesome. It's beautiful. Beautiful. That is definitely beautiful land. But there's like, I hate walking. I don't walk. I'm a truck driver. And so she made me go walking and hunting mushrooms and stuff.
You don't like hiking?
There was so many spiders and stuff. I was just like, oh. She was like, Mom, you're such a sissy. But
oh, come on now.
Well,
some people just don't like hiking. That's okay.
I know. I'm not a hiker. I don't like camping or anything like that.
No, I like hiking. I do. I do like hiking.
I do all my hiking
better when there's no hills. Yeah, fair enough. All right. Well, I'm not sure that counts as hiking, but sure.
Yeah, it's hiking. I've been everywhere, man. I've even been to Mount St. Helens in my truck.
Oh, cool.
I used to have a boss that would let me just.
Didn't that explode at one point?
Go ahead.
Didn't that explode at one point?
Twice.
Okay.
It's been off twice.
Mm-hmm.
And I was there in between them. In 1980 something, first one, and then it blowed up maybe about 15 years ago again, or something like that. Like at the visitor center, they had like a thing, like a deck that you could walk out and look down in the core and stuff. All of that got blown away. You know what I mean? Like when it exploded that second time, all that is gone.
Wow.
I think the first one was a lot worse than the second one, but it did blow the plug out of it or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Oof.
Yeah, the first one was bad. I remember that. It like there still wasn't trees like real close to where the center, the center is. there's still there wasn't trees there. There were still everything was still dead, like within so many surrounding area of it, and one of the paper companies had went in and planted a lot of trees and had like stands of trees that were like this many years old, and they harvest them and then they plant them again, and they rotate them around.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of it. It's one of the paper companies. It's got kind of a long name. They're not supposed to cut the redwoods down no more, though. They used to. Stupid. You can actually drive through one of them. There's one of them that the interstate goes through. That tree's that big. There's 2 lanes through it.
Well, there's a lot of different. Well, there's a lot of different places in Australia. Like down south of this state, there's there's massive tree forests, and but the centre's quite deserty. There's not a lot to see in the centre of Australia. It's more just desert than anything else.
Yeah, I just don't want to see no kangaroos.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere. I mean,
Or
can't get away from them.
magpies. Or magpies.
They're pretty much everywhere as well.
I want to go to Greece. I think that's where I've always wanted to go.
Greek
I've always
islands
wanted to
would be
go
nice.
there. I've always wanted to go there too, but I was told that they weren't friendly to non-locals.
Probably not.
Well, a lot of places just aren't friendly to Americans.
But if you judge Achilles,
Yeah.
like by Achilles, probably not. They don't.
Oh, don't judge by Achilles. No, I think it's just understanding sort of local custom and familiarizing yourself with what is considered rude and what isn't, kind of thing. Because, like, take Japan for instance. A lot of them are very, very. They're not nice to non-Japanese outsiders, but then again, a lot of outsiders sort of step all over their customs. Like, for instance, you don't talk on the train. It's considered incredibly rude.
Yeah, women don't look
Really?
me in the eye. Women don't look men in the eye either. I worked for the
That's not true.
Japanese for like 14 years. I worked at a plant for them. It was Japanese owned.
Yeah, I don't
The
think that's
younger ones-
necessarily true. I think
Well, the
it's
younger ones were okay,
more.
but when the older ones would come, we were told not to look them, and they would, like, if we looked at them, they would look down because they didn't.
I think
want
it's
us-
more of a worker thing. It's rude for
Yes,
a worker
correct.
to look.
It's more of a social
Their
status
boss. Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
But they would. I liked working for them though. They
Yeah.
were
No.
good.
Yeah. I mean, as long as you follow the rules, they're very nice.
They were a lot better than working at the for the Republican down the street with his sewing factory.
No. Yeah. I mean, it's they have a culture that prides or values cohesiveness.
And the elderly.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, like it's a collectivist culture. So, like, even if, you wouldn't say, oh, I can help you with this, I'm really good at it. Like, that would be seen as too haughty. It's just really, I don't know. Kind of the term I'm thinking of.
Arrogant.
They always take care of they don't take their parent. They take care of the elderly though.
They take care of each other. No, they're about
the wisdom of it, the elderly.
We did too for a while, but I mean, it's part of the whole culture of being there for one another. Like you're part of a whole, and you don't, like stepping out of line would be seen as very rude or disrespectful. But not not the way we see it, like to the group.
Yeah, it's just like we don't. Part of our country don't care about anything anymore. They don't value anything. I mean, they just value
That's by
money
design.
and power. That's it.
That's by design. They're trying to make us very individual so that we don't care about each other. So that when we see each other, like other people's rights being diminished and tarnished, it's like, well, it doesn't bother me. Like that. That's why it's
Yeah.
active.
Less than human.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're doing a good job
Oh, that's
too.
horrifying.
It is horrifying living here right now. Actually, if I sit and think about it very much.
Yeah.
Well, I think individual communities still care for one another. It's just, the whole idea that the government is for the people. I'm not 100% sure. Unless the people is corporations, I think that,
Right.
and
Well, I mean, we've just got so
you
many
know,
people that just are working in dead set against the interest of everybody else. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
it's like they're fully determined that they're going to do this. And it just, I don't know. I mean, Trump is still leading in polls, and I just don't understand that.
People don't read the news or have any idea how politics work at all.
I mean, he's on trial every day, and of course, I got over here at my mom and dad's for this stream, and they had Fox News just blaring. And of course, as I walked in the house, they turned it off.
Well,
And
yeah, but Fox News is saying that, oh, he's on top of this. He's, this is a witch hunt, and he's,
yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm
it's
just
so
like,
boring. Who wouldn't fall asleep?
Mom
I was
said,
just like,
turn
you've
that
got to
TV
be
down.
kidding me. After this whole year-long thing of Sleepy Joe, he falls asleep and no, I mean, they make it up.
And farts in court, and farts.
Yeah,
Falls asleep and farts.
I mean, it's just they don't. I mean, Fox News viewers don't seem to think for themselves. They just
They don't think it all.
well, yeah, Tucker said, or whoever said to think this way, and that's the way to think about it.
We would even mark if Trump wins.
Sorry.
Chuggy Atheist said he was moving in with you if Trump wins. I don't think I can get over there. But y'all Hooligan said that I could come to Canada.
Yeah, and I'm trying to befriend a lot of Canadians. I'm like, I just need one of you to pick me up at the border.
Just smuggle Maya over the border, yeah.
Y'all Hooligan will do it. Justin,
I will live in your broom closet. I will be your full-time maid. I don't care. Just get me out of here.
Broom closet. No, I can't. I just can't. He can't win. He cannot win. He can't win. I just can't even think about it. I mean, I'm just.
Well, I
I just keep thinking maybe they're lying to us about the polls. I mean,
Well,
maybe,
I mean, polls can be really misleading. Hillary was ahead in the polls, and she.
I think that's why they want us. They want to lie to us. They want to keep us thinking we have to have everybody. You know what I mean? Because if we might get confident if he gets ahead.
I mean, Trump's going to win Kentucky. I mean, there's nothing we can do
because
about that.
There's 3 people here who got IQ above 100, and I'm one of them. Maybe.
I'm sure you are. No, I mean, nobody, honestly, every political pollster or whatever is nobody is going to pay attention before Labor Day. Nobody. These polls, they're going to fluctuate.
See, I wonder these polls are based on home landlines.
No, they're not allowed to do that. They're not allowed to do that anymore. I mean, you can go into them. Gallup is really good, and what's the other one? I can't think. It's getting late.
You're not allowed to call
but they actually do tell you how who they pulled and how they got the data.
Oh, Dozing Donald, Pete said. Dozing Donald.
I mean, it's just you're not going to get anything out of a poll right now, and the polls right now aren't necessarily run to determine who will be president in November. It is to determine the heir. It's 11 o'clock.
Nominee.
No, why don't you like the heir? What's the zeitgeist, right? What is?
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
You know,
But like Nikki
what does
Haley
Biden need to do right
vote.
now to get the numbers up? So they're just right now polling to see what he needs to do to get, well, both of them on both sides. Like, what do I need to do to sway you? And that's what these polls are for.
Nikki Haley
And
got 20% of the vote the other day from Trump, and she's not even in the race anymore.
yeah, that's concerning.
And that's who I'm a registered Republican. That's who I'm voting for when we have our primary, which
You
is
still
next
haven't had
week.
your primary?
Huh? No.
Oh
Ours
wow.
is in May, last week of May, I think it was. But I'm gonna vote for Nikki Haley. I mean, I have to vote for Republican because it's primary, but
No, yeah. It actually it's really bothering him. So if it does nothing else, you will have pissed off Trump, and you can have that feel good moment.
I would so much rather
But
piss on him.
but the Republicans are concerned about the numbers of people
Don't
who
do
are
that. He'd
still.
probably enjoy it.
The
I
Republicans are
would
concerned
too. I
about the number of
promise.
people who are voting for Haley.
I promise I would.
But I don't know. I mean, every year, every election year, I stop. Once we get down to one person, I stop. I stop following the primaries.
That's fair.
I just can't stand him. It just makes me want to puke.
When are your primaries?
When?
Yeah.
I think it's May. It's like
May.
this month.
Okay.
I don't even know when it is.
I just don't understand how a person can lie that much and be that horrible and still people
I had a
will vote
woman.
for them.
I
Mark.
posted a meme. It's like cheating on your wife with a. I'm old enough to remember when cheating on your wife with a porn star would have made you ineligible to run for president in the Republican Party. And the evangelicals, that would have been a no for them. And this
Right.
woman said he wasn't cheating.
Mm-hmm.
I said, huh?
So your
He's
husband
had
could do
tons
this,
of
and you'd be
affairs.
totally fine with it. Okay.
But even if you don't believe that he cheated with Stormy Daniels and for some reason he was just giving her money for some reason, even if you believe that, he's got a history of cheating on his wives, and wives plural, with all kinds of people. Like, this isn't something that is, incredibly secretive or something.
Mm-mm. But again, they believe he's the second coming of Jesus. So, they're not gonna.
God
Again,
sent Trump because he was out of locus.
yeah. I mean, they truly believe he was sent from God. I don't think there's anything he'd be able to do that is going
May
to sway
21st.
them until their pastors start, supporting other people.
Right.
But the pastors that did, they ran off. I mean, all kinds of pastors quit.
But all kinds. I mean, I know the original ones that had the prophecy that he was going to be the next king or whatever did, but a lot of most, yeah, especially in the South, are still.
Well, see, I read
the
power, the power of the glory, and something or whatever it is. It's a book. It was written by the guy that used to be over the Southern Baptist Convention, and he was an anti-Trumper. And I can't remember what the title of it is, but I read that, and because I wanted to get some of their perspective, and he talked about what it did to their church, how it tore their church apart, and he left the Southern Baptist Convention because of it. Actually, he don't even belong to it anymore because of that.
Yeah, well, false prophets should leave. Unfortunately,
the kingdom, the power, and the the kingdom, power, and the glory. That's the name of it. Which I guess if you're a decent person in those churches like that, you just are amazed at the people who have fell for him. I mean, you've got to be going, what in the hell?
Um, I think they were just duped. Like Fox News really did like a number on a lot of people. I
Seems like
mean,
they're God that help them out.
when you're only like watching right wing propaganda, and again, economics and politics isn't intuitive. Most people don't realize that he was just like riding Obama's economic coattails. Like they just really think that, oh, he's the president, so he should get like, and we had a good economy, so he should get credit.
We
And
ran out of toilet paper.
yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that was during the pandemic. That's not, that's not something that anybody really had a lot of control over.
We could
Yeah.
have lost less people. I'm
Well,
not letting
yeah,
you get
no,
off that easily.
but I mean, having shortages on stuff was really due to people
But
panicking
he
because of
made
the
sure that
pandemic.
we
That's
did.
not.
He
Well,
made sure we
I
did
don't
because
think so,
he
because
didn't do anything about setting up any kind of supply chain emergency addressing emergency stuff. He just absolutely did nothing. You know what I mean?
Because
And
he
we
actively
did,
stood in front of that, and for
Robin,
something.
we did, and we still ran out of stuff. Because people panicked and they bought stuff up in bulk, kind of thing, when they
I
didn't
know,
need to.
but
It's not.
that's
It's
part of
not a
being
case
president,
of
though. You have
setting
to
up a.
organize that kind of
Well, I
stuff.
mean, yes,
No,
yes and no. I mean, there's
that's
okay. I'm sorry.
nobody thought that, like, everybody would go out and buy toilet paper by the truckload and leave none for other people. Like, nobody thought that would happen. Like, I can't. Don't get me wrong, but absolutely, his response was abysmal. His sort of telling people not to wear masks, and his entire not telling people about the pandemic was absolutely shocking. But stuff like supply shortages, that would have happened anyway. Let's be fair.
Yesterday, he said in his speech that if he became president again, that he would take away any funding for any public school that issued any vaccine mandates or
Yes,
mask
I heard.
mandates, not just
Yeah,
COVID vaccine, but measles, mumps,
yeah.
polio. He's going to take away public schools away, take the money away from them, which I mean, actually, the president doesn't even have the right to do that. But he'll get it done because he's done all kinds of shit that he didn't have a right to do. And so I'm like, I mean, I feel like that. Oh my God, we're running straight into a brick wall. That's what I feel like sometimes.
Well, it worries me either way, because he sort of said, "Hey, I'm going to be a dictator day one," and
Yeah,
anybody that says they're going to be a dictator on the first day is going to be a dictator on the second, third,
and they
and
don't care about that.
how.
They don't care. They don't care. They're like, so there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's very strange, and but also what worries me is what he's going to get his followers to do if he loses the election as well. That's what worries me, because he tried to take over the government once already illegally, and I don't know what he'll do if he loses. It's kind of, ugh.
Yeah, he's got a Secretary of States in 2 states that he didn't have, swing states that are MAGA, that will be the ones that will be certifying the election this time. And we found out that they don't care to lie about that. They don't care a bit. I mean, it's not like they're not. They would be willing to take it from them if they could.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't know. It's like all of these situations. There's a lot of ifs concerning it. Like, because Trump, I mean, he's in court at the moment. He doesn't seem to have that much support as far as like people going and supporting him, kind of thing. Like, he doesn't have a huge crowd out the front. He doesn't have,
He has
all of his.
lawmakers. I mean, he has lawmakers and all the good Republicans that are actually were the people that would actually vote to certify the election have retired from Congress this time. This will be their last. Some of them already quit. They just quit in the middle of the thing. They didn't even finish their term. But there's like a whole bunch of them that are leaving. I mean, all the sane ones are leaving. What sanity they are, I guess. But
We've lost most of the quote unquote good old boys for the MAGA crazies.
see that Republicans only have a 1-seat lead now in the House, where they had 17.
Mm-hmm.
That's how much people. That's how many people have quit and left and been arrested and yeah.
Yeah, I was really surprised at the number of people who just quit mid
Yeah, like fuck 'em.
assignment
I ain't
or
finished.
with term,
Done.
midterm.
Marjorie Taylor Greene bullies them.
Yeah.
I wish she would leave. I really wish she would
Yeah,
just
she
step
bullies
down.
them. I mean,
She has
you're-
really
She's
interesting people. Like the Democrats that oppose her are really cool. I wish.
Moskowitz, and Jamie
And the
Raskin,
person,
and that girl
I
from
can't.
Texas.
Yeah, the girl. I just found out about her about a month or two
Yeah.
ago. It's like, man, I
Moskowitz
wish.
is hilarious too,
Like,
though. Moskowitz,
was that the guy that was smoking weed on?
Moskowitz is one. He wears that little blue suit, and he drives Comer crazy because he's on that committee, and he's like,
Oh no, I was talking about the people who are trying to primary. Well, not primary, opposing Democrats that are opposing to MTG, but
I don't think her district. I don't think her district. She's deep red district.
she
Like
she probably
she
would be
rep,
Republican.
she
Their problem
she's
is not.
actually a representative of her district. She represents her district. Now
I
Boebert.
mean, it depends on what you mean by represent, but
I mean, they're like her.
yeah. I mean,
Her
she's
district.
crazy like them. I'll give you that.
She is a
But
representative of
I
them.
gotta remember, she's in Source's district, and there's another streamer whose district she's in. I forget who it is. I mean, so I actually need more people like them out and like campaigning for.
But she's
Democrats.
gerrymandered. Her district is gerrymandered big time to her to win.
No, I get that. I get it, the deep red community, but that's why I'm saying they need more people on the ground. Like,
but Boebert now, I think she's probably gonna lose.
oh yeah, I'd be shocked if she got. They hate her in Colorado.
Yeah, and she even changed districts because she was behind in the polls in one of them, and then she went to like some kind of debate or something, and there was like 10 of them, and she finished like 8th or something.
Right.
Wow.
And she got booed the other day at one of the rallies. She got booed.
No, like,
Didn't she go to
seriously,
like
they hate her.
a college campus, and you're like, why are you going there to do
Yes.
like everyone's gonna hate you?
Yeah, she went there. Because that's what they do. They like to show their vote. See, the far right older people don't support that protesting. I mean, they don't support freedom of speech. They don't support protesting. You know, they're trying to make it out like the riots that they claimed all went down, a couple of years ago when Trump was president and stuff during the pandemic. That they're trying to make it out like it's something like that, and they're anti-American, and they're trying because most of them are Muslim supporters. They're trying to turn the public against them because they're portraying it. They say they're anti-American, which some of them are saying death to Americans, and they're really making a lot of Jews scared to go to. But then there's a lot of Islamophobia too. So
yeah,
it's just like they just want everybody to be scared of everybody, and everybody go out and buy a gun. That's what they want.
I mean, they fear monger and nice Democrats.
Hide in your house with a gun. And vote for us because we're stupid.
Vote for us because vote for us because the Democrats are evil and Jesus will hate you.
They drink baby blood and satanic
Hmm.
I don't know how many times a week some people tell me that the Democrats are satanic. I'm like, fuck, we're not imaginary. They're real people.
Yeah, they do the whole adrenochrome and
Yeah.
Oh, that's the most ridiculous thing. I don't
Which you can
like.
buy on
I
the
don't
internet.
even get it.
Real cheap too.
yeah.
Adrenochrome. You actually can buy it on the internet. Real cheap. So why would
But
they kill babies to
like,
get
why
it?
why would you do that when you could just scare the shit out of kids and drink their blood? Yeah.
Where do they come up with this stuff at? Just
I
constant.
don't. I feel like I stepped through a portal into like some kind of weird bizarro land.
Yep.
Probably. I mean, yeah.
It's kind. I mean, it's just really disheartening, and because we've space like science is so far. We're just getting so far apart. Like the what science knows and what those people know and what the general public is. It's just like becoming just this massive deficit between the two. It's like, I mean, and they science is smarter, but it seems like those idiots are the ones that are figuring out how to win. I don't know how it make no sense.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't. But I mean, the notable exception that nobody knows what research actually is, um, and nobody ever does their own research. They
No,
go to like blog. They look at like the rantings of crazy people
yeah,
from blogs,
yeah. That's
and
research. Doing your research.
that's doing your own research. Well, confirmation bias is doing your own research.
Yeah,
Yeah. Essentially.
yeah. The conspiracy thing. Yeah, but like Michael Sherman has a podcast on conspiracies. And according to him, he claims that the percentage of Americans who believe in conspiracies is not any higher today than it has ever been.
Yeah,
He's
it's
the
probably
percentage.
lower,
He says
honestly.
that he says that like even pre-Revolutionary War, America has always been highly conspiratorial.
I mean,
You know, I
no, it's
mean,
human nature. I mean, and not even conspiratorial. I mean, it's just like right now we're in a huge information age. So we
overloaded
probably have
maybe.
no, like just the ability to be able to, like I was watching, oh God, I listen to a lot of podcasts, but this guy was talking about, why there was like a drop around, I think 2003, and people going to church, and they were attributing in that to like a mass entrance of people like finding the internet and finding things on the internet and being able to collaborate with other people and getting actual information. um, and I don't know. I mean, it was a psychologist.
I mean, I guess
But
they say
like
that
I'm
religion
sorry,
controls the mass.
it was a psych
Psych.
channel, but they were so I would need to look into the research to see how he got to that. But I thought it was really interesting though. I mean, because we do definitely have that drop around the time that most people got the internet, and you see most people dropping a lot of beliefs. But before that, you had your community and you had the beliefs of your community. I remember when the millennials were named, like they're Gen Z, X Y, Gen Y. Millennials are Gen Y, but they're renamed millennials because they were the first. Well,
Gen
one that
X.
they came up, yeah, Gen Y. No,
Gen X. But I thought it was millennial and Gen X.
yeah. So you have Gen X, millennials, and Gen Z.
They're like right there together, Gen X and millennials.
They're adjacent,
Yeah. I can't even remember
and
which one I am. I think I'm a millennial.
you're probably a Gen X.
You'll be Gen X. I'm Gen X.
Whichever one. I'm older than you. I'm 56 years old.
You're probably at the beginning of Gen
Uh,
X.
then you're probably at the beginning, yeah.
I'm at
The
the
only person
very
older than
tail
me is
end.
Spooky. Wherever Spooky's at. Spooky's older than me.
Yeah, Spooky knows he's a boomer. But like, yeah, I mean, they were named because they came of age in the millennium, but also because they were one of the first, the first generation to that had like a global. Oh, what was the term? Like they were being raised globally. It was like kind of how they were saying because they had like the internet and access to people all around the world. Before, like, all throughout time, people were really raised locally. And now you have people who are being influenced by people all over the world, like K-pop is, are influencers to American children. And the internet's had good and bad, or let's say positive and negative influences on
Oh yeah.
the generations preceding X or
So
following.
Gen X is generally defined as people born from 1965 to 1980.
Mm-hmm.
So I was in 76.
Generally.
So I was, the last sort of tail of the Gen X's.
I'm in that. Yeah. I
Yeah.
was born 68.
Sorry, Maya, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just found
No,
it.
you're fine.
Yeah.
You're fine. Yeah, because I'm trying to do math in my head. I'm like, I don't know what year it was. 57 years ago. Thank you for bringing that up. But yeah, I don't know. Oh,
Well,
wait.
I
Why was I saying
think
that?
people like the new generation people think they don't care, and I think they really do. It's just it's hard as far as I can see, and this is just my obviously I'm now an old person looking at the new generation and going, this is what they think. Like I don't want to sort of Gen explain for them, but I think I could understand that it's hard to get invested with the challenges that are coming up. Like, how do you really get invested when it's so hard to own your own home or get ahead kind of thing? Like it's probably not that they don't care. It's just it's just so frigging depressing. Like it's horrible.
Yeah, they run our housing market's run. It's just like just.
Yeah, it's they're very disgruntled.
And
Yeah,
I can
because they
understand
don't.
why.
And then college. I'm so tired of people railing against college. Okay, like since 2020, the cost of college, a 4-year degree in college here in the United States, went up 196%.
Yeah.
And these people are bitching about it, and I'm like, I want more people who are educated. I think we have enough stupid people already. Let's educate people. I would rather
weird
pay for
because
that than.
But they complain about immigrants coming and taking there's a lot of Indian doctors and engineers and things like that. They complain about them coming and taking the jobs, but at the same time, they're not willing to help people get the education they need to have these jobs in, as sort of people in the country. So it's kind of like this, well, what do you expect to happen? Like what do you want from these people? But
go home. That's what they want. They want them to go home.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's just that means you'll have no doctors and no engineers and no people that can
you have
do
to pull
these.
yourself up by the bootstraps. That's
Yeah, I get that. I get that. But if you want doctors and you want engineers and you want architects and you want these things that
They
require
don't want smart people.
If you have God, you don't need doctors.
Well, it's not even necessarily smart people. It's just educated people is what so they want.
With
Yeah,
Jesus,
exactly.
It's you
no,
should
smart
be okay
people
with
don't
helping
vote
out.
for them.
No,
Smart people want
I
them
get
to
that.
legislate for free. They think their taxes are enough.
Yeah, well, some really smart rich people do, but
And
no,
look at
nobody.
look at it from this point of view. Like we in Generation X, are you Generation X as well, Maya?
Just barely, but yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we inherited sort of a environmentalism concepts from the boomers who were basically like, well, it's not really a big problem kind of thing, and we inherit. And I
Hmm.
remember learning all about, the greenhouse effect in school and things. And then
Hmm.
we kind of just said, we'll just leave it for the next generation. And then the millennials are here and they're going like, what the fuck, guys? And then they've
Right.
just left it for the Zoomers as well. And it's like, I
My
can
dad
imagine
doesn't
by the
believe
time
in
it gets to the Zoomers, it's like, holy crap, people, like seriously.
My parents do not
Yeah,
believe in climate change. My dad, every
well,
time I
that's the
try to bring it
problem.
up, he tells me that to remember when Al Gore was running around, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? Saying this was going to happen, that was going to happen. It's like,
Well, it
uh,
would have if we didn't like cut back on greenhouse emissions and things like that. Like we actually did stuff about it, but it doesn't
Hmm.
mean we're out of the woods yet. It just means we've prolonged and sort of delayed what was going to happen. Um,
I
and
know.
people sort of point to oh, but they went on and on about the hole in the ozone layer, and that didn't do anything. And it's like, that's because we did something about it. We banned CFCs and we
Yeah.
banned things that would actually exacerbate. But there was a problem, and the hole was like right over Australia, so we're aware that UV light is insanely strong here. It's really weird. It's sort of this. Well, if we warn that something will happen if we don't do something, and we do things, then they're like, well, nothing happened, and it's like, what are you talking about? It's like saying, hey, if we don't maintain aircraft, they're going to start crashing. Then we do something and start to maintain them, and there's no crashes, and they say, well, look, it was pointless. And it's like, what are you talking about? And the whole thing is more maintenance is required, and this problem is massive, and it's getting too big to even talk about or look at anymore. It's kind of like this. Well, the political will isn't there, so what are we supposed to do?
Well,
Um,
that's the political position of the Supreme Court. It's called the
yeah,
big questions um, doctrine, which means that if the question is too big, then you just don't address it at all. That's one of their theology. That's one of their ideologies right now. It's called the big questions doctrine. And if the problem is big enough, so
mm,
big that it's just overwhelming, then you just don't address it at all. That's really an ideology that they claim in the Supreme Court right now. With their textualism and originalism.
yeah. Well, I don't think there's any problem that's beyond our capabilities. Like look at the gun problem kind of thing. Like people thought in Australia it was beyond our capabilities, but it wasn't. And America's a lot bigger, but with enough political will, you could absolutely handle it. You could do it.
We're
So
arming teachers now. We're arming
that
teachers.
that is the most insane thing I have heard of in ages. Like
We're arming
seriously,
teachers.
expecting teachers who don't get paid a lot to start with to
Yeah.
be some kind of private security force for their students, that's insane. Like who's going to want to be a teacher? Oh yeah, you go to do your
You'll make
diploma of
money.
education. Well, you go to do your diploma of education, and it includes like anti-terrorism units. I mean, come on, seriously.
We got teachers grooming people to be trans, but now they're going to give them guns. They're talking out both sides of their mouth. It just doesn't make no sense. Just like they say Biden is Sleepy Joe, but he's a mastermind of the Biden crime family. He can't be both.
Yeah.
And if your teachers are indoctrinating children into being transgender, then why are you loading them up with guns? I don't understand it. It just don't make no sense.
Well, their
There should be
position
no
just
guns in school.
changes depending on what they're. Really, at the end of the day, it is a political motivated and an economic motivation from the NRA and associated businesses that sell guns, and there'll never be enough sales of guns in America. Like if they can give 50 guns to every person, that's that would be fantastic.
And I'm
I
not even
don't.
anti-gun. You know what I mean? But I
Right.
am anti. I think they should have. I mean, I own guns, but I think they should have background checks. Biden passed the thing to get around the like the gun sale. When they had a gun show, they weren't required to do background checks. There was a loophole there, so you could go to a gun show and you could purchase any gun without any kind of background check or anything. So that's just what the girls did. You know what I mean? If you wanted to get a gun, a certain gun, any gun, you just go to the
Yeah.
gun show and buy it, not the gun dealers, because the gun dealers had to run background checks, but the gun
Background
shows
checks, yeah.
didn't. So Biden closed that. Well, they're fighting him in court over that. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
just went crazy over that, throwing a fit. And of course, it was like, they're coming for your guns. Biden's coming for your guns. I mean, the Second Amendment protects the right to own a firearm. Until we repeal the Second Amendment, nobody can take your gun as long as you're a law-abiding citizen.
Well, yeah, but that's sort of like you have the right to drive kind of thing. Well, that's true, but you still need a license and to
Not
register
here,
your car kind of
I
thing.
mean, that's
Yeah.
not. But see, it's not in the Constitution to drive.
Well, yeah, no, I get that.
But they forget that it's the second one. See, there's nothing about the First Amendment they like. That freedom of religion, that freedom of speech,
Yeah.
all those right there. They don't like
The founding, really huge right now, is that the founding fathers wanted a Christian nation.
Yes, they wanted a
I'm
Christian
like-
nation. That's why they didn't set one up, is because they wanted one.
Yeah.
It is really really big. Like I've seen, I watch people that go into Trump rallies and talk to them, and
they know nothing about history.
It's crazy. No,
they know nothing about history. I
they
mean,
know what they're told, and they know what they want to hear.
Yeah.
They actually don't know.
It's really funny to hear them. It's really funny to hear them talk about the Second Amendment. Like if you say, for what is it, for a well-regulated militia, and they're like, huh, what? That it doesn't say that, and I'm like,
yeah, it does.
Yes,
like, seriously?
And if you read the Federalist Papers, it explains to you what a well-regulated militia is in great detail in the Federalist Papers, which was the same. Like you can tell the Constitution is like copied out of the Federalist Papers a lot, and it explains in there what entails a well-regulated militia in the Federalist Papers. They don't spell it out in the Constitution, but it does in that. And it's 2 weeks of training a year, and you have, just that kind of stuff. I think they should do that.
Like a reserve course. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for well-regulated militias having guns.
Yeah,
Muskets.
I'm all for. I think they should have muskets, where they make their own balls, and ball muskets. Yes, black powder muskets with.
Yeah, but like the average citizen, I'm like, I don't understand why you need more than a rifle.
I don't think we should have like those AR-15s. I know people like shooting them and everything, and there's certain people that I really don't care if they have them or not. But I just think that just the fact that they're available, it makes them, and there's just too much killing available. I can shoot a rifle really good, and I have never needed over 2 bullets ever to ever hit anything. I mean, most of the time I hit it on first, and I would never need a whole clip of bullets to hit something. Unless I'm trying to hit multiple people or something. You know what I mean?
No, you're hunting people at that point.
Yes. You know what I mean? And so who needs to do that? Nobody. There's nobody in our society needs to do that. Even the police don't even need to do that. So.
Yeah, I know you heard that the NRA, like they have a platform or whatever where they're not willing to tolerate any
Yeah,
laws
nothing,
that restrict guns. Like nothing.
nothing,
Yeah.
nothing, nothing. I mean,
Which
and
is
they
why
used
they're
to not be like,
fighting this
the
so hard
NRA
with Biden. And I'm
when
like,
the
a gun
NRA
show
started, they
loophole?
were see like the NRA when they started, they were after the Civil War. The shot the
Yeah, they were
shooting like
civilians. Like, I'd say civilians, but they were just people. They were gun enthusiasts. They weren't like
yeah, but they acted well.
the
They were like old
CEOs of
soldiers and
every
stuff.
gun
Their accuracy
company.
was so low, and
Yeah.
they were because they wrote most of the law, the gun laws for a long time. And then when Charlton Heston became president around that time is when they took out. You know, when he raised the gun up and said, "You'll take this out of my cold dead hands," and that's when they went nuts and started. They like raised millions and millions of dollars. People were sending. They kept telling them everybody's coming to get your guns, and people would send all their money in.
Mhm.
And nobody's ever come got their guns yet, but they still fall for it every time. It's just like
No, I've been telling my family that too. That's the rhetoric, like the right wing
yeah,
rhetoric permeates society. Like I fight my family on that a lot because
like three
they
guns.
live in the South, and in the South, the rednecks love talking about how there's going to be a race war, and so Black people in the South feel like they need to have guns, like are definitely afraid of Democrats taking their guns. And I'm like,
Maya,
it's not
Maya,
what you're trying to
they
do.
plan. The white nationalists have a plan. See,
Hmm.
Derek Black. You know who Derek Black is?
I've heard of him.
He
I
was
don't know that
he
I've
was
ever
like
seen
over
it.
the white. He was over the white nationalist, and he
Ah,
left.
that's why
Like,
I've never seen anything.
yeah,
Okay.
he left. He got out of it, and like he had to go
Hmm.
into hiding and stuff. His dad was like
Yeah.
one of the David Duke was his whatever he fought, like his godfather,
Hmm.
and he he says that in the plan that they have, that their plan
Hmm.
is to eventually to take up military places, take over military bases,
Yeah.
and get bombs. And they plan to bomb the cities that were, the
Hmm.
most people live. They to take out as many people as they can in those cities. I mean, he's laid this out that this is like in their little plan
Hmm.
that they, it's just, and I've tried to explain to people, but it's just they act like I'm crazy. No, they're crazy because they really want
No,
to do
they are
this.
crazy. And yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's what I'm saying. That's my whole point. Like when you are listening to white people just like outwardly express with glee their wet dreams and fantasies about how they're going to like eliminate genocide you and anyone who looks like you, you get a little afraid when you hear on quote unquote the news that anybody wants to take your guns. But I don't know what to. I'm not saying it. They're wrong for feeling that way. I just it isn't hopeful because it's moving a lot of red state people of color. Like they think like, well, oh, the Republicans want me to keep my gun. So
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
it
yeah.
and we're still voting 90% Democrat, but like it makes them more amicable to the leopards eating faces than they would have otherwise been.
Yeah, and there's a lot, and then of course they're doing all they can to keep people from voting. They've
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah,
they're doing
voter
everything they can.
suppression. Mm.
Oh, it's just constant, constant. They just, I mean, every time they get a little power, they just work at it so hard to like keep you. They're trying to get rid of all the drop boxes, like in Georgia and stuff. They closed like in minority districts, where there were a lot of black people that lived, they closed like a whole bunch of the polling centers, so that a whole bunch of people had to go to like one or two polling centers that were way far away from their house and stand in, like, some of the people stood in line in 2020 for like 15 hours to cast their vote. And all I can say is, I thank goodness for them. You know what I mean? Because those are the people that saved us from Trump again. The ones that stood in line for 15 hours and weren't even allowed to get a bottle of water. It was a felony to give them a bottle of water.
Yeah,
that was so bad.
Right.
Like making it a crime to give somebody standing in
bottle
line
of
waiting
water.
to vote water. That
Yeah.
is insane.
I mean,
I
and
don't.
old people, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It just, I mean, how, it's just unbelievable. I can't understand how you can look at that and say my side's doing that, and I think we're right.
I don't know. The Supreme Court looks at that and thinks, "Oh no, voter suppression isn't a thing." So no
They don't.
protections.
They know it is.
It's ridiculous.
I'm sorry, Azo, I'm giving your party hell tonight. But I'm just so sick of them.
Well, I'm going to take off, girls.
Yeah.
Thanks,
It's
Mark.
midnight. I need to start getting ready for tomorrow.
Come listen to me,
I'm going to
bitch.
go get something to eat. But no, I think it's really interesting. I think culturally my country is a bit different, but I do see the influence of America sort of on things like healthcare and education and stuff. It's kind of like, I don't see why we would follow America down these routes. It seems silly, but there's a
Don't
lot
be
of
like us.
no, but there's a lot of influences of people that
I'm
just
voting
want to
Mark
make
Reed. Me
money.
too.
Money off education and money off healthcare and stuff that are trying to sort of bring it back. It's just it's fucked. It's absolutely fucked, and it seems like something like I don't think as much as I would really reckon, like, Trump cannot be elected. Like, everybody in America that can possibly vote. And it's weird. Somebody was saying, I can't remember who it was, but they were going, "Oh, you have no right to vote," kind of thing to people. And it's like,
We don't.
no, actually,
We
well,
don't.
I mean, I have an obligation
I
myself.
know, but in America, we don't have a right to vote. Actually, we actually don't really have a right to vote. It's only the Constitution.
That's insane.
The Voting Rights Act. But actually, our founding fathers didn't set it up to where we even had a right to vote because they wanted the money, the landowning wealthy to vote.
Yes and no. I mean, you have to. It doesn't. Yes and no. Yes and no. It depends on. I mean, it depends on how you read it. There are a number of people that have to be elected, and then so. I mean, we do have. The people have to vote. Who gets to vote is the question that is at hand. The Constitution does set up a voting system for the people. It does not. It doesn't.
Our Constitution allows senators to be elected by the states.
Not anymore.
Only the states have decided to let us vote for senators. The states could take it away anytime they wanted to.
I'd have to look into that a little bit more because I thought that Congress passed something like a while ago, overriding that.
Senators. There's like,
I know that's how it started out, but I haven't looked into, probably since the 5th grade, why that changed and what they did to that we're now looking for, that we now get to vote for them. But yeah, I need to look into that. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean, our Constitution sucks, and we've got the right to vote in there. Actually, we've got the obligation to vote in there. It says that the electorate should be decided by the people of the Commonwealth. Well, it says it will be decided by the people of the Commonwealth. So not only do we have a right to vote, we have an obligation. Like we get fined if we don't vote
But
because
we
the
don't give people
Constitution.
off today at work here. See, they
Oh,
won't let
no.
us have
Yeah.
election day off.
See, that's insane. That's insane.
We've
We
tried
just do it on
1,000
like
times
a
to pass that.
we just do it on like a Saturday, and you know it only takes like I've never waited for more than 15 minutes to vote. Like seriously,
Yeah, you didn't
it's not
have
that
every
hard.
polling place closed within like
Yeah.
like 10 miles of you either.
And just fight for
And
every
then,
hour for it to stay open.
yeah,
But
and then,
I don't. But this has to be a concerted effort. Like if the
Mhm.
entire population of my country can get to the polls and vote under threat of sort of financial punishment, then there's no problem with America doing it. It has to be
no,
a concerted effort.
right. That's the issue.
They
It
don't want
needs
us.
to
They
be
don't want the people voting, though.
right.
That's why they go to all this trouble to keep them from voting. That's why they
And you've got to
put them in
register,
jail
don't
and give
you?
them
Which is weird.
felonies
Like
and then
it's
pass
weird that
laws that say felonies can't vote.
you have to register to vote, but you don't need to register a gun. Can I just say how batshit crazy that is? Like
Yes.
seriously?
Yes.
I mean, that's assuming that you do want people to vote and don't want them to have guns.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, it does show you
which
the
is backwards.
priorities there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You think you're in an upside down world.
Exactly.
No,
I
he's
think we're actually right side up, and you
Yeah.
guys are upside down.
Australia doesn't exist.
I want to tell
Yeah,
before we leave, I want to
it's not-
say
it's all
go
fake.
to Matters Now and watch
I'm not
God
giving them a
Bless
view.
the Milky Way. It's a parody song. It's awesome. I love it. God Bless the Milky Way. It's a song about space, but set to God Bless USA tune, and Ocean posted it. It's an awesome song. Awesome song. I love it. He
Okay.
says we don't live on a something dome trapped world or something, or a flat something or another. It's really good. It's
Yeah,
good
I'm
song.
not sure I can give Matters Now or Atheists for Liberty my view, but I believe you, and I
I have
will
it posted
take.
on my community tab just so you can watch it there. It's a good song.
Yeah, I haven't really been watching Matters Now at all. Yeah.
Oh, I think they did like a swap debate the other day where like Max was the Christian and Dr. J was the atheist.
Oh yeah.
It was
Yeah.
It was really cool. I liked it.
Okay, that's cool.
Dr. J said, "This side's easy." That's what he said.
Yeah, funny that. It's
Max said, "I can't figure out a good argument for your side." But the song is really cool. That's what I'm talking about, though. It's like about space and stuff. So it says, "I'm proud to be an Earthling." This song, I liked it.
cool. All right, peeps. Well, I'm gonna go. Thanks so much for having me on. I'm probably should do some actual work and stuff, but never mind.
So when
Never
you're doing
mind.
Grayson, Nick, tell me what you got going on, Mark.
Yeah, it's in a couple of days. So 15th at night, I believe. That's Eastern time.
Have you got a debate coming up this weekend?
The only real time.
I mean, debate review.
Not really. I might see if I can get the guy on to do a debate about the Ark. It should be funny. But yeah, see how it goes.
Oh, okay. What about you, Maya?
So the Holy Spackle is coming on. She wants to go over a Teal Swan video. So we'll be doing that.
Are you going on Skeptic Haven anytime soon?
I started a new job, so I just kind of threw out to the community, like, don't ask me to do shit in April. Because it was just, I was so tired all the time. Like it was coming, I'd say like 9-hour days at work and coming home and just crashing. It was insane. And getting through a lot
I
of
really
stuff,
like
but I've
watching
also
him
been
on.
answering emails while I've been on here too. So
I like when he was on there with Cynthia, and wasn't you on there with
mm,
Mandisa once too?
mm, I think that was a fundraiser. I've been
Okay,
doing a lot of stuff this year, but
I like
yeah, I don't have
Mandisa.
anything scheduled with Skeptic Haven. I'll be on Wavelength, not this weekend, but next weekend.
I have a shirt from Mandisa that says "Walking by sight, not by faith." That's what her shirt
Medusa's
says. I like.
awesome.
Yeah, I liked her. She's a lot of fun. I met her at one of the conventions too, but I like that shirt because which I have eye problems, so really my sight's not all that good either. So I'm kind of screwed. But I can still see well enough not to run over nothing.
Well, that's important. You're a truck driver.
Yeah.
All right, I am going to get out of here. Thank you, Robin,
All
for
right.
inviting
Thank
me
you,
in.
Maya.
Mark,
Thanks,
always a
Robin.
pleasure.
Bye,
Yeah,
Mark.
always good to see you.
There's
Take
Beansy.
care.
Bye. I'm gonna shut it down, y'all. I'm gonna go home, go to bed. My day. I'm over here at Dad's, probably keeping them up, and I've got his computer, and so I thank y'all for coming, hang out with us, and listen to me bitch about politics.